Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third Zone's Classic Who Zone, the Dalek invasion of Earth. Yes, I've sent the emails out to everybody that's joining us on the panel. So if you guys can get on so we can get this started ASAP. Nice to see everybody in the chat. Let's give a few shout outs. Let's see who we got. Right. So we have Charlotte, we got Stuart, we got Chris, Disaster Area, we got Tim in the chat, we got Blobbingham, welcome in the chat also. We got 9 people watching at the moment. If you could do us a favor, share the link. And get yours our copies ready. That reminds me, I better get my own copy ready. Yes, I think it's nice. There we go. Right, so well, I'm hoping it's here. That's not looking good. That's not it. Should have probably looked for this before I came on, but I was a bit busy. It should be here because because the BritBox is not working anymore. I'm pretty sure it'll be here. Has to be. It's one of the most famous stories. I'll find it. I hope I find it. Yeah, we're getting somewhere, I think. Damn. Right. As I said, I've sent the emails to everybody who's supposed to be on. So there it is. I found it. Right. Right, I don't know what's up with everybody. Man, this bloody computer is doing me head in. I literally sent the emails about 20 minutes ago. Right, being sent again. But I don't see the usual faces. Don't see Lee. Don't see Super Doctor. Right, email sent again. So we've got one guest so far. Right, we're just waiting on the other two guests to arrive. But we've got Marty in the chat as well. Disaster area and in the chat. Welcome. Welcome. Do us a favor, got 16 people watching. If you could hit that like button, also share the stream. We're about to do the Dalek invasion of Earth. So what happens basically is we get you our copy of that story. Put it in. We'll do a countdown from 5 to 1. As soon as we say 1, press play, and we watch each episode. We take, obviously, after each episode, then we do a countdown for the second one, and so on until we end. Then we give our thoughts on the story, and then we give it a review. So yeah, just waiting on the other guys. It could be me and Charlotte only tonight. I mean, look, I would. Right, well, let's bring Charlotte on while we're waiting.
Hello, sorry mate, I didn't get an email the first time. I don't know what was going on.
No, it's grand. It could be just the weather or something. But
yeah, I'm doing you now. I'm scrolling trying to find it. I found it. Right, let me get the first one up. Ready? Because that got me panicked. I had to like look at what the titles were called because I was like, because I forgot in older Who they don't just have one title, do they? A lot of the time it's separate ones for different episodes.
True enough. It could be just me and you tonight by the looks of things. I mean,
well, that's odd because Lee's usually pretty early.
Yeah.
But God love him, he's probably done in because he was very busy last night, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't mind if people don't show up, but if they're not going to show up, it'd be nice to like be told, you know, that might be a possibility instead of hanging around waiting. Because like, you know, I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait for, like, and I don't want to wait too long either. Want to get started as soon as. I've tagged them both in a tweet on Twitter to say we start at 7, lads.
Well, it's a 6-parter, so that's why we want to try and start early, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so awkward at times, this way they do this, isn't it, on this website?
Yeah. I had to actually type it in to find it because I couldn't find the first time round either.
Well, here's my fun thing.
But it used to be all in order. That's the thing with that site. But because of all of this EU crap, they've changed it around. But you used to be able to write in Classical and you get everything in order, including the reconstructions. But now they've kind of mixed it all up.
Well, it's not that. I'm in the chunk where the episodes are, but I keep going past the first part. So I'm trying to get it up a bit, just enough that I can click the first part. But it's just been a little bit fiddly.
Yeah. I don't normally do this because we have a set panel. But is there anybody in the chat that would like to join me and Charlotte? Because I don't think something must have... Super John, I think it might be his internet anyway, because he has been having issues. Lee is probably in bed.
Yeah, he's probably conked out.
So, oh no, he's here. Oh, he's here. Fashionably late as usual. Do you think we should let him on? I don't think we should let him on. 13 minutes late. What do you call this?
Well, for Lee, that's not too bad.
No. I'm putting my foot down. Put my foot down. I'm only messing. Let's bring him on. I'm sure he has a tail. He probably has 15 alarms set or something. And
he's just like literally just woken up like we joke.
Woke up or he's getting something to eat or a cup of tea. But if his mammy is visiting, he would have been up early.
Hello. Now, listen, try having a Jewish mother, right, visit you. And when she's hungry, she's hungry. I had to make a steak with 2 minutes to go.
Right, well, that's fair enough. But text me, man, and tell me you're going to be late, will you?
I thought I could do it in that time.
Right, okay, but steak takes more than 2 minutes, mate. What are you cooking, a blue steak?
It's red raw.
Red raw, yeah, blue. Yeah, just like cooked brown on either side real quickly. And then a blood flowing out of it, yeah. We got a super chat from Kip Ellis, but I'm going to go in and actually have a look to see what it is. Nobody tell me because I never actually get to find out what these are. So I'll go in and have a look. But Super John is obviously having internet problems, so he must be again.
Must be, yeah.
Bleeding hell, man. But in fairness, it always happens to him, man. It's bad. It used to be grand. When the summer comes in, it'll be grand, Super Doctor. Grand. We no interruptions because he's always on the classic panel. I guarantee you, he's actually probably listening, trying to get on.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. It'll probably appear halfway through. Like, hi guys.
If you do appear, come on. You know, it doesn't matter where we are in the story. We'll give you a timestamp. So, Kip Ellis with a 149 super sticker, and it's a unicorn. Woohoo!
Yay.
Yay, we like the unicorns.
We do.
It's a pity StreamYard don't actually show what you give. Instead of just writing Kip Ellis 149 super sticker, that's not very come on, StreamYard, I'll pay for this. Come on, at least put the bleeding unicorn on the affected thing. Actually, where are me emojis for bleeding StreamYard? That's one thing you don't have. Give me emojis.
Right.
Why? Because then if anybody is in the chat and they're saying something, I could just use a quick emoji.
No, it's right, as in right question. I had a mouthful of steak, that's why.
Now, did you have some of that steak?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're chewing it right now. What am I talking?
Oh, come on.
Okay, we don't need to hear your sound effects, right? We don't need to hear your sound effects. But, right, but here, no, stop now, because we have to get serious, right? We have to get serious.
Very serious.
So, this story, have you got any initial thoughts before we get into it? What do you actually think of this story? And I know Charlotte probably only watched it for the first time today, and then obviously you're watching it again now, but what are your initial thoughts on the story when you watched it? How are you feeling about it? Charlotte?
I was gonna say, do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first watch. I was quite impressed actually because this is second season, and
Yeah.
it's quite a lot going on. Like it's a proper blockbuster, isn't it? The amount of locations and the amount of stakes. And
I got 2 steaks.
I know it's about. I said it without thinking that's. And I didn't know about Susan. I had no idea this was Susan's exit.
Yeah.
So that was quite.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I had
you
no
wouldn't
idea.
know. Yeah, yeah. It is actually pretty sad, isn't it? When you see the whole lot and then the speech, it does
Oh
get you.
yeah, I knew that speech, and when it started, I was like, "Oh God, this is where that speech comes from." Then,
Mhm.
and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, it got me a tear in my eye just listening to that
Ah.
speech.
No, I agree with you. It is actually highly emotional, the exit, because you could see by the end that the two of them as well. Because obviously, if stories are to be believed, Bill was quite harsh on the girl. He thought she was throwing her money away. They kind of briefly touched on it in the movie, but like by the end, you could see that they clearly had huge respect for each other, and he did that. Actually, her leaving, I think, did affect Bill quite a lot,
Oh yeah,
actually,
definitely.
because they did end up growing close together, and he didn't like things changing. That was the thing about. I know Doctor Who ended up about all being about change, but back then he
Yeah, but
didn't
in
want
his era, it wasn't at that point, was it? So, he probably
exactly.
saw it as a more normal, straight drama. So
Yeah,
he probably
I
was
do.
a bit unsure when stuff
Yeah.
started changing.
Lee, what are your initial thoughts when you first? So obviously, you're probably going to regale us with a story that you seen this years ago, and some doctor came to visit you, and all of this, and blah 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 blah. I'm only messing.
Well,
Go on.
I
But in
remember when I
fairness,
met
go on.
Bill
All
Hartnell.
joking aside, all joking aside, come on. How did you feel when Little Problem Bang was watching this story?
I probably would have watched this during my school Doctor Who club. Probably in like 5th generation used out a worn out VHS with like really warped sound and vision.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's a classic story. It's the one that I think sort of really made the second Doctor Who and the Daleks movie. Is all based on this story.
yeah.
The bit with the Dalek coming out the Thames is I think one of the all time greatest
That is
scenes.
brilliant.
That scene for me is just mwah, chef
Yeah,
kiss.
no, it is. I agree with you. That's just one of the most epic scenes ever. It's like it's on the same level as the genesis of the Dalek scene where he's holding the two wires together. It has that impact. I agree
Well,
with
you
you.
got the Daleks going across the I think it's Westminster Bridge, and that is I hate using the word, but it is iconic, and it's one of those things that really sticks in the mind of most Whovians. I think that kind of scene. It's often been replicated, but never quite in
Yeah.
the same way. I would love to see more. Imagine the whole bridge just filled with them.
I know,
Yeah.
but you only had a few.
Yeah.
You only had a few. What you call it, Daleks. They did. Sure. If I remember correctly, Jordan, this story and also the movie that they did, the two movies that they did, they damaged and lost a lot of Daleks, and a lot of them were just discarded as well. Sure,
Oh,
there was one found 2 years
I
ago
was going to
in
say
a
people have
bog.
found them, haven't they?
Yeah, they found one in a bog, fully
yeah.
preserved and all. Like they're finding these Daleks everywhere.
Yeah.
They're probably worth a fortune now.
Right.
Yeah, but I also think having it black and white makes those images more striking.
I agree.
I was thinking, I was like, probably if this was in colour, it wouldn't be as because it's quite
Well,
an eerie feel. This story as well. I found.
Didn't you watch the movies with us? The Peter Cushing movies with us?
I watched one with Bernard Bernard.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's based on this one.
Bernard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one based on this one.
Yeah.
So you've seen it in color to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Obviously, the movie is a bit more
We got the big mothership and all that.
Yeah, it's a bit more hammy if you ask me, but it still works. It still works. Right, we've got 6 parts to get through, so I think 21 minutes of talking
Yeah.
is good enough. Well, 11 of those were waiting on Lee because he's a diva and he has to be fashionably late all the time.
Well, here's the thing. He's now a not virtual. God, I sound old. He's now a viral hit, so he's a bit of a celebrity, aren't we?
Oh, right.
That's it. So we have to kind of let him, away with these things now because his celebrity status is on the rise there. So
Right.
yeah. But no, seriously, in all fairness, listen, congratulations, everything that's happened. As I said last night, no better person deserves it. So I hope the single goes well. I hope people do buy it because obviously proceeds are going to 75% is going to charity, and that is a good thing. So I mean, get supporting it. If there's any of the moderators there, if you just want to put the iTunes link where the people have to pay for it, if you could put that in the live chat there, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Go out and buy it, folks. Yeah, fucking sizzling. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Right. So we're going to give Charlotte the honours of doing the countdown. Now I'm going to mute myself, right? And I'll come in every so often because I'm watching it on the laptop and I have to mute myself or you will hear the sound. So because
I'm eating my cold steak now. So I'll be in and out.
So you basically got me, folks, by the sounds of it, for a good chunk of it.
No, I will be in and out. I'll be able to watch with
I
think the subtitles as well. I think the subtitles work on this. I've never tried, but I'm going to try. But we're here anyway. So I'm going to get Charlotte. I'm going to mute now. Charlotte is going to count down from 5 to 1. Press play at 1, and we are ready to go. So enjoy, folks. What we'll do is we'll do the first episode, and then we'll quickly go into the second one. We'll take a break then, a 2-minute break so everybody can get a cup of tea or whatever they need, and then we get into the next 2. We'll take another little break and get into the last 2. Okay? Right, let's do this. Right, so Charlotte, you go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, folks. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Play.
Yeah. I love this opening sequence. It's one of my favorites.
And you also see a lot of different sides to William in this that I found. Like you sort of see the sort of grumpy to very sort of heroic, almost kind. Like you see a real gambit in these episodes.
Do you know what I found always disturbing was the sign, "Do not dump bodies into the." I was like, what the hell, man? Are you watching with the new effects? No, I'm probably watching the original version on the site that I'm using. So I don't think there's special effects in it. No. I prefer to watch the old. Don't get me wrong. Some of the special effects in the episodes that they do or stories that they do are much better than the original. But with Bill, I'll watch them with the original effects. And the same with Troughton as well, because his hair is black and white as well. Same when I watch the animation, so I watch them in black and white, not color, because I like that continuity. So, yeah.
No, it's weird. Like people do, like they colorize, don't they, some of his scenes and put it on YouTube. And I've watched a few, and every time, even I'm now at the stage that I'll go, that doesn't look right.
No, but I have to give it to the fans for trying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of the scenes do look amazing in color, but his era was black and white. So, fans will do stuff like that to keep themselves busy. But once BBC don't try and attempt to colorize his era and Troughton's era, then I'm happy. The fans can do what they want. It's like some of them do be great. I have to be honest, some of them are great, but I do agree with you. You have to keep it to the
Yeah, it's like
original.
something in your head just says,
Yeah,
no, it shouldn't be like that.
exactly.
Now those docks are all luxury apartments, you know. Notice the windows of the TARDIS are dipping inside.
I love how giddy he is in this and in this scene, and like he's also being like being a bit cocky because he thinks he has got them back, but then he
Yeah,
starts to soon realize, oh, maybe this isn't.
he's
Uh,
probably more thinking. Oh,
we got a super chat from Eric K, a 4.99 super chat. He says, it's a pair, I think, exercising, and he says, keep it up. We will indeed. Thanks very much. I really appreciate that, Eric.
Hello, Eric
Um,
K, King of
hi,
the
Eric.
Riches.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate that. We will. I have to say, this is my favorite time on the channel. Is the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I love it because we get to watch a bit of Doctor Who and talk about it. Instead of doing all the articles and stuff like that and putting ourselves in bad mood, the weekend is where we have fun. But thank you
Oh,
for the super sticker, folks. I really do appreciate them. Go ahead, Charlotte.
I was going to say this was my nice break today, in between looking at maths work. It was like break. I'll watch an episode, go back to maths. It was a nice thing. That's my sort of fun thing to do today.
I suppose that's meant to all be iron, but it's probably made of wood, like a trellis fence.
Got to say, I love her outfit in this, Susan's. It's like just the right amount of like functional but a bit girly.
Real Super Doctor is here, and we've got another super chat.
Oh, it's
We've
coming
got a
from.
£10 super chat now from Digby Strawbridge, and again, it's another pair, and it's bound, and it's saying thank you. Thanks very much. I don't know what to say, really, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yet, the panel chose this Super Doctor. Actually,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
was his choice. And welcome, Super Doctor. Internet problems.
Hello.
yeah. Well, I got in late. I was well, it's just family business, and I kind of getting late.
Right, fantastic. Can I ask you something there? I accidentally unmuted myself while that episode was playing in the background. Could you hear it?
You could hear talking. I don't know if it was enough that it's going to pick it up.
Right then. Well,
Right,
maybe
what
not.
episode are you on?
We just started. We're 6 minutes and 25, 26, 27, 28 seconds in. When you get caught up, I'll let you know. I'll give you an exact timestamp, yeah?
Right.
We only started. We tried to hang on for as long as we could, but I kind of had a funny feeling you had internet problems. Lee was being a diva and cooked the steak like 2 minutes before the stream and was fashionably late, because he's an L celebrity now.
Mwahaha.
But he's our celebrity. Oh, and by the way, I just want to give a special shout out to Daniel because after the stream after the TARDIS Zone talks, we literally had a chat for an hour and a half. We had a great little chat. So
I've
yeah,
just started it at where the Doctor, Ian, and Susan and Barbara are at the TARDIS
right. I'll tell you now. We're
at the
7 minutes.
embankment.
We're 7 minutes and 24, 25,
24,
26.
25. Right.
So Susan fell down and she did that awkward twisting of the ankle
Yeah.
thing. Now Barbara is holding her foot.
As usual.
Yeah. They could never
Yeah.
fall, even when she came back for the anniversary. Do you remember when she tried to fall?
Oh, that was
no,
so
Sarah
bad.
Jane. That was Sarah Jane as well. Trying to roll down that hill was ridiculous as
Yeah,
well.
but her fall,
Yeah.
it was almost like they were having the meta joke, weren't they?
Yeah.
With her doing it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Susan, so she has to fall over.
You know, this site that I'm using, I don't know if you're using the same site still, Charlotte.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant for finding all the old era Doctor Who. I know it's a bit messed up, but most of them are there, and it's great. That's where I watched the Pertwee era, and the reconstructions of the Troughton era as well. Very good.
Oh yeah, I'll probably in my own time. I saw Macra Terror was there, so I'll probably watch that in my own time.
Yeah,
I really like Troughton though, and I heard that's one of his best, so I'll probably watch Macra.
I have the Macra Terror. If you want me to send it to you, I can send it to you.
What, like through email? Could you do it?
Lee, can I do it through email would I have to do it through cloud or something?
You can send it via We Send It, I think it's called.
I was going to say, could you have it as like a file and just have it in an email?
Yeah, I think I
Well,
might be able to send it to you by email. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try after the stream, right? And then if it's in your email, all well and good, you have it. I'll send you the black and white version because you don't want to watch it in colour, do you?
Nah, and it's more work, so just stick to the. Yeah, because that's what basically we've done before. Is that they're just files and we've sent them. So.
Yeah, I love the Macra Terror. I have to be honest. It's just such a pity that those missing episodes are gone because I would have loved to see what the way they did the Macra back then. Was it a big like what you call it when they do those
like a big practical effect?
Yeah, was it a practical effect or was it a thing that they built? Like, oh, I wanted to see how. Is there anybody in the chat that actually seen that episode air live? And if you did, what was the macro like? Did it look like, did they use a miniature crab and then just blow it up? Not the way they did like in Invasion of the Dinosaurs, where they basically used crappy little dinosaurs and blew them up. Did they do the same for the macro? Let us know.
I can see that being a possibility because obviously it'd be Troughton, so they wouldn't have a lot of. They'd make do with what they had, wouldn't they, in that era? So.
Right, so we have Ian and the Doctor looking out the window now at the big bubble thing, Super Doctor.
Yeah, I've got that.
Right then, so
that's the Battersea Power Station in 2164.
There's a video of the built Macra full sizes disaster area.
What is that, a fan thing disaster, or is that from the episode?
If it's from the episode, that's fantastic. I'll check it out. We do have the Macra Tower, as I said, as animation. The only problem is that I know a lot of people don't have the animations because I would like to do just focus maybe a day on the animations. I was even thinking every Wednesday, do one of the animations that are, that are around, do all of them.
I'll send you a link to a picture of the original Macra.
In the private chat, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I click into this, though, is it gonna move me out of StreamYard? Right, if I end up disappearing out of StreamYard for a second, don't panic. It means I've just clicked into this link and StreamYard is acting ridiculous. It should open a new window in reality. But let's
Yeah,
see.
but it's StreamYard. So
Or maybe right click it and open in a new window.
Ah,
The Roboman.
okay.
it's also
I've
just
seen it. I've seen that photograph before, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Disaster's just said in the chat what it is. Let me have a look. What he was referring to. It's a video from Shawcraft, who made the Daleks on one of the DVDs as an extra. So it sounds like it's something from the show then. Yeah, because I'll always remember the whole Gridlock thing, because I obviously didn't know Classic. And I just saw everybody going ballistic. Like, oh, the macro. And I was just like, what? Like, why is everybody going ballistic over crabs? Like, I had no idea when I watched that episode.
You can see that that Roboman. He's still moving.
Yeah, I know.
It's a bless you about me not knowing, guys, in the chat.
Yeah.
I guessed as much. Yeah, I just saw, like, everybody go, like, the older... I was just like, okay, I'm guessing Russell's brought something back. Like...
I think the stunt and where Ian falls out the door, I think it's quite good.
Yeah. Would that be the actor, do we think, or a stunt person?
I think it could have been a stunt person.
Either way.
See, that's very reminiscent of the scene from the film.
Yeah, 2150 AD, yeah. So that's basically where the idea came from, 2150 AD.
Yeah.
Well, if you think the whole them being on the riverbank is pretty much lifted, isn't it? They just changed a few little things in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which is better, the movie or the actual serial here?
I
think they're both good.
For me, I preferred this.
I mean, they sort of stand on their own merits, don't they, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're different enough.
The Robomen are kinky.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they always found some great places to film, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about Doctor Who. They had all those locations in London and all those disused railway bits and all that. They could film and all that, and they could do explosions and all these kind of things, but they can't do that now for film because they've got to have permission to do that. But back in the 60s, they had all that available to them, so.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they could basically go anywhere and film. Now it's permits and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to bear in mind that now most of these places don't exist anymore. You know, everything, any sort of brownfield site or former industrial area is now being converted into
either housing or
flats. You know, things like
yeah.
Well, I think from the Dalek Invasion of Earth DVD, there's extras on locations and where Barbara is and where the old disused train station is. It's still there.
Oh, that's impressive that it's stuck then.
Yeah. But mostly it's all graffitied and all that. And...
well, I mean, it's increasingly more difficult to find unique, spooky spaces. Most of it now has to be set built because it's it's all fast disappearing, especially in London.
That spaceship all the same, though.
Well, the spaceship, the original spaceship turned out to be one of those Tupperware biscuit tin lids. You know, the plastic Tupperware biscuit tin lids that had the kind of...
I was watching it today and I was a bit like, it's the 60s, but that's a bit cute. Like,
yeah.
way it looks a bit. I was like, I understand it's 60s and you've got to be fair to it, but
Yeah.
it gave me a bit of Thunderbirds vibes, like old Thunderbirds.
Disaster
Well,
area,
basically in the
Wood Lane
60s, they never
Tube
had the
Station.
budget to kind of extend. They were only working with at least £1,000 per serial. So
was
they
that,
done exactly well with it.
I was going to say, Super John, was that like 1,000 in total, or would that just be to actually make it the episode?
1,000 in total for to make the whole episode.
Right.
For you had that was also to include your cast
I was going to
members and your
ask, would that
production
include
members.
cast? Yeah, cast pay.
Yeah.
Wow. Considering what it's like, just think about that in comparison to now. Like, I would like to think how much money they spend on like an episode now. I really would.
They would. I think it would be £1 million.
It'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Because the first series of Doctor Who, when it came back in 2005, was a kind of a multi-million-pound 13 episodes, 12 to 13 episodes.
But you got to think but if you think about 2005, they probably would still have a bit of, we'll do one series and see how it goes sort of attitude. So
yeah,
they probably still weren't chucking like top money at it, I would think. Like enough that
I always thought that the first episode, Rose, was quite kind of, I would say it looked a bit kind of cheap, and I was expecting it to be, well, for a multi-million-pound series, I thought it would be more expensive, and I thought the effects were a bit kind of cheap even for 2005.
I love that line that they just did. So you cook, yes, and you, I eat. Susan, she's not having none of that.
Oh, there's some brilliant lines in these episodes.
Yeah.
So I love the moment, I think it's in episode 2, where the doctor asks Ian, like, how do you feel? Do you not want to stay? Do you not want to see this is your home? And it's interesting that it's the companion, it's the human, who basically says, no, this isn't, and I don't want to see why it got like this. Like, that's more of a doctor response, I would say, typically. So it's interesting that you got the companion saying that.
Yeah. An interesting thing about this story is that the TARDIS windows are open for some reason.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because it was back in London.
But also, like, if you think about all the named characters who are like part of this rebellion sort of resistance group, I don't know what's the nice proper term for it. They're all really well drawn out and like written, I thought. Like they've all got personality, they've all got a bit of a backstory. Like they're not really wasted characters. It felt like to me.
Well, David Campbell is the one you saw in the scene there. He is the one that marries Susan in the end. Well, and it's plotted out from the start because he was a freedom fighter, and it's even in the 2150 AD that David Campbell was a freedom fighter and a rebel against the Daleks, and what he's wanting to do is fight to survive.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8-bit. I didn't choose this story. That was Super John.
Yeah.
He gets credit for this.
Now this is a great scene here. David Campbell's trying to warn them of what's coming.
What we do is we get everybody to get their own copy of this story, 8-Bit Snake Boy, and what happens is we do a countdown at each part from 5 to 1, and we get everybody to press play at home. We're watching it now as we're talking, so that's what we mean by a watch along. We can't actually show the story on YouTube. That's why you won't see many YouTubers do it, and when they do, they're not allowed to show the whole episode either because of copyright laws and stuff like that. So even the sound, if the sound comes through, they even copyright strike that.
I love the Dalek coming out the Thames.
Wow,
And
great. That was great.
Such a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's like, I think this is one of the rare times I'm like, yeah, get the Daleks in early. Like, it works in this story.
Right, folks, get ready to get your second episode on. Press 1 if you're ready. Press 1.
Not ready yet. I've got to find it.
My mind's loading the video right now.
I'm ready.
Wait till I find it.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, you're not going to press.
Let's see. Where did it go? Oh, damn it. Episode 2, isn't it there?
Nah.
Oh, that was like me last time.
I'll just have to.
That's why BritBox is such a pleasure. It's just like, it's what, listen, I'm not an advocate for the BBC or whatever, but BritBox is such a fantastic
Super John in the private chat.
place.
Super John, private chat. Private chat.
Is that Rabbi that?
No, I've sent it to you.
All right.
Private chat.
And you'll be in sync then with me and Noel, which would be
right
easier for you. The timestamps.
That's part 1. All you have to do is just part 2 is right underneath it.
Right.
And did anybody else think then David Campbell, if that's the actor's name? I thought he looked a bit like Ian. Like at first, I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
I think he has a bit of a look about him, like Ian. That's what I was like. Oh,
But
it's not
then,
Ian.
like, Susan falls for him. It's like, does that mean she had a thing for Ian?
Maybe they could be brothers. I really
School
was
teacher
like.
crush.
Right, have you got that, Super John?
Yes.
Right, everybody in the chat ready, please press 1 because we've got 6 parts and I don't want to be here all night. It's already 10 to 8. We'll be finished by 10 at this rate. We're 50 minutes in already. Probably in it, we're going to be here for another 2 hours. So press 1 if you're ready in the chat, please.
Yeah, press the 1.
Right, okay. Right, Charlotte, do your thing.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Play.
Go.
I have no idea where that's come from, by the way. It's just randomly. I do that now and again, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not want to do that.
No. I love it when that scene when the Dalek comes out the water. I love that in the Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yeah.
2150.
It's that scene in the Daleks going over the Westminster Bridge.
Yeah. And the Dalek in the chase was supposed to come out of sand, but they couldn't actually manage that. So they had to do it in a model shot.
Yeah, that must weigh a ton, though.
Yeah.
And also, I found these a bit creepy, these robot men. Like, considering they've just really got something on their head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually found them a bit, like, off-putting. A little bit creepy.
Yeah, it looks very sinister, this episode.
Yeah, it does.
From the outro, the intro, when you saw the Roboman just rip off his helmet and just throw him physically himself into the river. It shows you how dark this episode really actually is, and for a children's serial and to be kind of broadcast about 5:30 on a Saturday night.
Yeah, especially
in
as
a
they
family
tell
show.
you. Yeah, especially later on, they literally tell you what it's like when you like disable one of these guys. Like, they basically go crazy and kill themselves. So it's like they could have just not left it at that scene, but they even go into detail later.
I think that delivery of that interplay
yeah.
between the Dalek and the Doctor were just so great. His absolute condescension to the Dalek was fantastic. It's like,
and also it's nice to see, even as early as Bill, he had that bit of, you think the humans are just going to lie down and let you take over? Like, even with his first incarnation, he had a bit of, humans aren't as easy, aren't as simple and as vulnerable as you think they are, sort of motive.
I just love the Doctor's ability to be so contemptuous of the Daleks to their face. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about the character of the Doctor, is that the Doctor can do that because well, but back then you never knew he was a Time Lord and all superior and all that, but you knew that he had some kind of authority, and he was kind of wielding it.
Oh, I was watching The Creature from the Pit the other day, and Romana says she is a Time Lord.
Yeah.
So there we are. None of that Time Lady stuff. She's a Time Lord. Which I love. And there's equality right there, right? She's so good in that story.
Oh, what did I see yesterday in the chat? Somebody said, me and Daniel could be like, he's the Doctor and I'm Romana. That made me giggle.
Yeah.
Because people were like, oh, that's what you could call the channel. And I was like, I'll take Romana. I'll take that.
Sometimes I wonder about you, Tyler.
I've noticed
See,
classic
disabled representation going on here.
Yeah,
Back
that's
in the
Dortmund.
60s.
Yeah, and I've noticed in classic they seem to like to do like a few like leader types that tend to be blokes who are like different viewpoints, and they like bicker and they sort of argue. That seems to be a template they seem to do a lot in classic. It's like there's never just one leader. There's always a few in a group. See, do you not think he looks like Ian?
There's a little resemblance there. You can see the cardboard cutout Daleks in the background.
Yeah, you can.
I really think they didn't need the cardboard cutouts of the Daleks.
No, 'cause
They just only needed
yeah, because
the
the
actual.
spaceship looks quite good. Like this set, the spaceship actually, when it's the actual set of the spaceship, looks pretty good. It doesn't look cheap. Doesn't look like run down. It looks like they really put effort into it.
Yeah.
Oh, idiot's about to be an idiot.
I suppose that's London for you. Nothing's changed.
To be fair, what would you rather be, dead or robotized? I say he's an idiot, but if you think about it, probably death's a better option.
This is, I find this this kind of story, this Dalek story, is very reminiscent of the sort of Quatermass
Yeah.
experiment. I do love this Dalek design, I have to say.
Also, I was surprised with the camera work in this. Like, it's not static. Like, there's a lot of camera like tracking and moving about in these episodes.
And William Hartnell had an accident on set. He fell in one of the ramps, the Dalek ramps, and hurt his back.
Oh.
So he was out of action for most of the scenes and that.
Yeah, that's episode 3, is it? Or 4? I noticed there was one that was very dark to light.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Bill's probably not too well that day, or something had happened to him.
That's really dark.
Yeah.
Strong female character.
Yep, you've got the blonde, I can't remember her name. And you've got obviously Barbara, and like I said, I think Susan's really well written in this. Like she's got a lot. Like she has a proper, I think, crisis of confidence or identity or sort of.
It's a proper story arc, yeah.
Yeah.
Good send off.
Yeah, it's. And what I really liked about it is that it's done independent of the Doctor. Like he's not there to make her think. She's literally just comes to that sort of realization by herself, with obviously help from the fella she marries, but pretty much herself. Like nobody prompts her.
I think the Big Finish stories are a bit sad though.
Oh, I've now got a rule problem. I don't want to know. Like for any classic characters, what Big Finish says happens to them in the end, because it seems to be depressing for everyone I hear. Like, I heard what happens to Jamie in Big Finish, and I'm like, no, that doesn't happen to Jamie. That no.
Not allowed.
Not
And I don't
allowed.
like
You're not doing-
even what happened to Dodo Chaplet.
No, I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
really horrible. His fate. I was like, no,
Notice
not Jamie.
only in Big Finish. Notice only bad things happen to the men, right?
Well, you say that, but wasn't Nissa? I think she had a bit of a. It wasn't her ending, but she had some rough stuff written for her, from my
Right.
memory. I could be wrong. It's Nissa or Tegan. Can't remember which one it is now.
Well, that's an outlier. Jack Craddock. You don't know the Daleks.
Decorated dustbins with one
Oh,
eye.
the Doctor's hilarious also with him. Like, he's so dismissive. He's just like, yeah, shut up. Like, the equivalent of saying that so many times in the cell. Because he's just like, why? He's just nattering on. You can see the Doctor's just thinking, can you stop talking? You're just disturbing my thought process. I think it shows though just how much delivery matters, because Bill's offish at times. Bill can be a bit self-important, but I like Bill when he does it, but I can't stand it when Colin does it. So it,
Yeah.
for me, it shows the importance of delivery.
I love how William Hartnell really shows the working of the inner, machine of his mind, his eyes and his facial expressions. He's constantly playing chess in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a lot of movements, isn't there? Considering that he's seen as sort of the older man incarnation. His hands are sort of a lot of the time they're either like doing that, aren't they, or they're doing something else.
Yeah.
Whereas people usually think of Troughton for that sort of stuff.
Look at that convincing backdrop.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the extra, the woman that I thought was terrible? It's like the most unconvincing I'm going to run away ever. And she sort of gets tapped and just falls down.
Yeah, right. Oh, I've fallen.
Oh, I'm dead!
Mm. Usually, like
I think
the
the
leader
voices
Dalek
are not
has a
that
deeper
great.
voice, don't they? They usually have a deeper voice, but
Yeah.
this
They're
one
not
doesn't.
really that great in this, the voices.
Well, it's early
like-
days, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was a bit like, some of this is probably my bias because I'm so used to Briggs, but I was like, some of these are a bit. Sounds like they sort of got anybody they could for some of these voices.
I think Nicholas Briggs has to be one of the best Dalek voices.
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah,
I like Roy Skelton's
Yeah.
interpretation of the Daleks because he has kind of a bit deeper, and it can be perceived as quite threatening.
Yeah, I think Skelton for me growing up was, the definitive voice of the Dalek.
Yeah.
I think a bit of it though with me and Briggs is I liked Eccleston from like his first episode, but I didn't really click with 9 until Dalek.
Mm.
Like that's the episode that I'll always say sold me Chris and the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah.
And I think a bit of that is probably what Briggs did with that Dalek in that episode, because sort of that was my first Dalek as well. Like I hadn't obviously knew what they were. Everybody knew what a Dalek was, but I hadn't seen them. And I think it was a brave thing actually for Russell to do his first Dalek and to have the Dalek vulnerable and for him to sound in pain and sort of weak.
Yeah.
I'm loving Matthew Pounder's comment. Sadiq Khan
What
was
did he
the
say?
first to be robotized.
Yeah, but is he robotized or is he an Auton, Sadiq? I can't quite work it
Yeah,
out.
one or the other.
Yeah.
Maybe a mix of both.
Yeah, maybe a hybrid. Maybe the first ever hybrid.
Yeah, he's the hybrid. There we go.
He
Worked it
is.
out. Yeah. It's a Perspex box.
Yeah, I didn't quite get this. You might have to explain to me, why would they have this in the cell? I didn't understand.
It's supposed to be a light refraction and magnetic poles. It's because of the light refraction moves are supposed to be the magnetic poles.
Oh, yeah,
and because it's magnetized
Yeah.
for some reason.
What's it doing in the holding cell?
What's it doing in the holding cell? It's more my
It's
question.
It's a very good
if
question,
you're a
dear boy.
Dalek confined trapped in a holding cell.
I did make.
How would you get out?
It did make me giggle a little bit because I was like, "We're having a science lesson now. We literally are having a science lesson. Like it's brilliant how it's done." But it did make me sort of laugh a bit.
Yeah. But Doctor Who was not patronising to the viewer. It had to have something intelligent there for the people to kind of relate to and think, wow, this is not just a dumb show of decorated dustbins and bug-eyed monsters. And it was an intelligent show, and there was deeper meaning to it.
Yeah, you're right about the was. It was an intelligent show.
Yeah.
Was. It's not now.
And you can see that with Hartnell, Trout, and Pertwee, and Tom
See,
Baker,
the
Peter
Daleks
Davison.
don't leave stuff like this about.
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking that. I was a bit like.
But he just said it. He just said it.
Yeah, I was
That's
basically Ian in this. I was saying the exact same things Ian has said. I was like, why? Like, I love Bill in this scene with the other fella in the room. He's just like so offish. And like when it's in this scene when Ian's like, "You're a genius, Doctor," and he's like, "I've only noticed now, my dear boy," or whatever his line is. It's such a funny little line. Oh, hi, Darren. You've popped in the chat, I've seen.
Hold that. Shut up, will you?
Only sometimes.
Please go away.
It's like, you're annoying me now. Get the hell.
I just like that
Don't cramp me style.
arrogance in the English gentleman. You know that I'm right, and of course the Doctor is right, but he loves to show off. I really like that.
Oh yeah, he's a peacock, the Doctor. Yeah, the best of times he's a bit of a peacock. That's why was it Matt? I should know this if it was Matt. When he had that scene when he came down, because his TARDIS you could go down, couldn't you? And he said, "I'm saying something very clever and nobody's there to watch," or something. I was like, yeah, Doctor, that's you.
And the one rule of the Doctor is don't throw out all those qualities of the character just for an ideological reason. You've got to have that intelligence, that character, or otherwise it's just not the Doctor. It's not that character that has been and is able to change his physical form, and you can identify it as the same character being played by a different person.
Yeah, it's like I've said, the way I would always explain it to somebody is, imagine a soul that's just happened to live in more than one body. That's the way I've always explained it to people who are a bit don't understand it. Regeneration. Oh, Bill, you're gonna have a nap now. I mean, you even hear him, like, not screaming, but, like, you hear the doctor. I found that a bit, like...
I'm loving the music, by the way.
That's what I was meaning. Like, you got the music, you can hear the doctor faintly in the background, basically begging, like, for them not to do it. Yeah, also watching this, I got the impression, like, there must have been stuff that when they were like, yeah, we're going to try, and others must have said, you can't do that for this serial. Like I said, it's second series, and there's so much going on here that there must have been some either higher ups or other people were like, yeah, you're not going to do this. There's no way you can pull this off.
Now that's a great cliffhanger. You don't know if the Doctor's going to get out of that.
Yeah, because they've also quite cleverly separated everybody, haven't they, at this point?
And that can actually make a child scared and want to tune in next week to see if the Doctor's all right. You know, they can do these wee things to hook in the audience, and then you go back to it next week to see if your character gets out of it all right.
That's why I think. New Who lacks that kind of cliffhanger thing. You know?
Right, 2-minute warning, folks. 2-minute warning. So go and get whatever you need to do, a drink, cup of tea, whatever it is, and we're gonna get it straight into the next one. It's a good story. I don't really want to stop, to be quite honest with you.
No, it is.
It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's definitely one of Billy Boy's best, isn't it? I think.
It'd be odd though for me when we get near the end of his era, because I haven't seen him with anybody that isn't Barbara, Ian, and Susan yet. So I've not seen him with Polly and Ben.
Yeah.
So it'd be odd for me not.
Vicky.
Yeah, it'd be odd for me not to have this team when we watch some episodes that isn't Barbara and Ian and Susan, because I'm so used to this setup with the First Doctor now.
Actually, to be honest, I love Ian, Susan, and Barbara as the companions for this for the first serial. I think that they are the ones that carried this off, and they're basically, when they started out, they couldn't actually. Well, they didn't get the scripts right and all that, and they had to work at it with very little time that they had. And they managed to get along and pull this off and make this show a success, and with the help of the Daleks as well, and the popularity of the Daleks, and William Hartnell being the first Doctor, and with the show carrying on as it did and surviving more than 3 weeks, that it was supposed to have intended to have been just a 3-week show only.
Right, press 1 if you are ready, folks. We're about to go. Go ahead, Charlotte.
I was going to say though, I've got a feeling like Who's probably one of the most shows that there's points where it's like, oh, it's probably going to end now. Do you know? Like you hear that now and again for shows, but I feel like with Who, it's probably the most frequent thing where they're like, yeah, we might do a few more, or we might do another Doctor, and then we'll see what happens.
Right, we got a couple of ones going through, so if you want to do the honours again, Charlotte.
Yep, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
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 I don't know if it's Scottish, Indian.
It's just me being weird voice.
Go.
Sounds French.
Go.
See, the more you do it, the more it go off. Nah.
I always
I'll get
thought
over it, Dalek.
the cliffhanger and was always the scariest bit of Doctor Who for me. It was always the cliffhanger. You didn't know if they were going to get out of it, and then the closing theme right over it, the scream, as it were. You know, I wish that was kind of back in Doctor Who. I mean, they tried to do that in RTD's era, but that was just a two-parter. That was.
I'd like to see it go back to the serials again. But the reason why they didn't do that for New Who is because they thought the American audience wouldn't understand it, which is ridiculous, given that most people then become fans of the classic series anyway.
Yeah,
and it's different, having a little serial within a series.
Yeah, but I think the problem was if you think about the TV landscape, like when Who was going on in the 60s and 70s and everything was serials from what I can understand. Like that was just the practice.
I guess also another problem would be that you had about almost twice as many episodes per season back in the day.
Yeah,
and we sort of said like with the new show in 2005, it looked cheap, but there was a lot of special effects and stuff that they wouldn't have even had, like even near the end of Classic, I would suspect.
So by a 30-minute episode like this, they could actually bring down the budget of the show, and they could have more. They could plan ahead for more interesting stories and more interesting concepts.
See, I think the thing that used to more annoyed me with the new Who stuff and the cliffhangers was they would do the next time thing, and it was just and I always remember thinking, okay, when it's not a cliffhanger, you do the next time thing, but when you've got a massive cliffhanger, just don't play the trailer for the next episode for that week. So at least there's a bit of what's going to happen, but they always would. And I was just like, I remember even me getting a bit near the end of just, guys, just don't play that trailer if you're trying to do a cliffhanger. Because that's what narked me with Tennant's fake regeneration. It was like, as soon as the episode ended, they did the trailer. So you knew he was in the next episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, so he's not going to regenerate then, thanks.
I was genuinely thrilled when I saw that David Tennant regenerating like that, and I really thought there was going to be another Doctor.
I think that would have been actually a brave thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, have a new Doctor for like the end.
I actually thought they were going to do that for the next Doctor. Do you remember we got that episode where the guy had the Doctor's memories and thought he was the Doctor? I thought they were going to do it there, and I was like, that would be great. Yeah, that's your man, yeah. That would have been brilliant, actually. But no, they didn't do it. But
I thought David Morris's costume for the Doctor was just absolutely perfect. I mean, it really echoed the character. from the classic series.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the coat, you can
Yeah.
see it's actually based on the previous sort of Tom Baker style
Yeah.
coat with the you've got the eyelets down the lapel and the same cut frock coat basically.
Yeah, I would love a proper throwback costume for a Doctor.
I want to
Just
see
a
it. I
proper,
want to see an Edwardian.
Victorian. Yeah, I'm the same.
That's why
I'd
I
be
like Matt
happy if
Smith's
the
second
scarf
costume,
came back.
with the purple coat.
Yeah, the purple
big
coat
long
costume
scarf.
is great.
If they could have the Doctor with a big long scarf again,
No,
not just a short scarf, but wrapped right around, like a kind of shawl thing or something like that,
see, I
like
just
he did
think,
in
See, I
Legopolis.
associate that with Tom Baker's
yeah,
Doctor.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I'm not even the biggest Baker fan, and for me, it'd be a bit. No, that's Tom's thing.
Because they did it
Yeah.
with Whittaker, haven't they? They've given her a scarf and it just...
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they did
just
it for
doesn't suit
one
him.
episode.
She wore it for one episode, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still, they gave her a scarf.
Well,
They
Sylvester
didn't-
had a scarf.
yes. He also had for time
but
in
it's
the
nothing
Rani, it
like
was like a wee
Tom's, was
tartan
it?
scarf,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
then it was the paisley pattern scarf.
Yeah,
Silk
So
scarf.
it was all that kind of Scottishness
yeah, yeah.
with his Doctor.
I
Yeah,
don't
but I
know.
know.
Go ahead, Charlotte. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think it's okay if it's different enough. I just think like the way you describing it, that sounds too much like a Tom scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas Sylvester, it's definitely different enough that you don't even think of Tom when you
That's
see
what I
that
mean. Matt
costume.
Smith had the dicky bow. That was his thing, I wouldn't like to see another Doctor now in a dicky bow.
They're probably
No.
gonna do it as well, and I'll go ballistic if they do. Even when, and I'll shut up because we don't. Even when she had that line, I was just like, "Oh, you shut up!"
Well, you know what I loved? I loved Romana in Destiny of the Daleks when she wore that pink and white outfit, which was like mirroring the Doctor's outfit. I thought that was fantastic. I loved that with the long white scarf and the pink frock coat.
Yeah.
I couldn't
That was
imagine what was going through Tom Baker's mind when he saw Lalla Ward dressed up as him, but in a female Doctor kind of
Probably
way.
don't want to know.
Oh, no.
It probably was a very happy chappy. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Oh, the biscuit tin's back.
Yeah. Well, I think about it though. If you're a flying saucer in this kind of using a anti-gravity, manipulation of magnetic fields and polarities and things, it probably would be a bit wobbly, especially in Earth's atmosphere.
But it makes it so obvious. That's the funny thing. It's like there's lady near the end when they're just this isn't so much of a time thing, but this is a thing that I was like, you wouldn't get away with it nowadays. When Barbara and the woman are just blatantly talking about their planet in front of the Daleks, and I'm just like, it's a good thing these are apparently stupid versions, because she would literally out loud saying, "Well, if you distract them, I'm going to do this." It's like, well done, girls.
Ooh.
So you forget Ian was a teacher, because he's quite action man at times, and you forget, yeah, day job he's a teacher, like, and he's not like what teacher is he? What subject?
History, isn't he?
I was going to say, isn't he even a bit of like a swotty subject he teaches as well?
We should do a watch along of the tripods.
Yeah, that would be good.
Although they never did the last season because they spent the money on the 5 Doctors instead. So we never knew how it ended.
Well, that's understandable, that, isn't it, really?
It was a great show, though. I used to love watching that.
Oh, we've got the Susan scene next, I think.
Got what?
We've got the scene with Susan next, haven't we? Where she starts to hint that she's leaving.
It sounds a bit kind of a bit terrifying, that.
Yeah, and it's all off screen as well, but
Yeah.
you get a real sense of that.
So like they say, it's whatever your mind makes up is scarier than what anybody can create. So that's what they're doing, isn't it? Oh, my heart went out to her in this bit. And what I liked is also, like, he's got a really valid point as well. He's like, well, I can't run away. I can't do that life. I have to stay. And it was really, like, lovely conversation.
David's a bit of all right, isn't he?
Well, I'll say, Susan, you picked not a bad bloke. Not picked a bad bloke in many ways. Lee, I've got a feeling agrees with me. And I also think this is a powerful scene because in a way it shows how intensive the process is with the robot man, if it can even make the doctor like this week. So it's like it just adds onto the layer of this robot man and the sort of the cleverness. That's another thing that I quite liked in this story. You get very clever, manipulative Daleks, and I always prefer the Daleks written in that fashion.
Look where you're going, mate.
I was going to say, you're not going to go to Cornwall, mate, or wherever you were talking about.
Oh, he's gone negative. That's it. It's over.
Now, I'm going to admit something. I really didn't think the music fit for this scene when they're pushing him. I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if this quite fits. I know what it's trying to do. It's trying to be like a big tense thing. I was going to say, has anybody heard from Alpha? Because he's usually
No.
here. And even if he's got issues, he usually tries to pop in at least.
No, he's walking.
Oh,
He's
okay.
walking. He's back in work now, so
Oh, okay.
Selfishly.
so good man. So no, he's been in work. He's been popping into a couple of me gaming streams when he's got home for an hour. He's been he's working at the moment, so yeah, he'll be back.
Oh, love, I've just realised that hat does not look good on you. You look a bit like a gnome. So I was like, imagine how excited they must have been. Like, oh, we get to film by like the Lions at Trafalgar. Like the crew must have been so excited to do these bits.
Well, they film in early hours on a Sunday morning
Oh yeah, but still,
for these
yeah.
shoots.
But if you think about like the little show that, like you said, was supposed to run for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and they've now got to the point where they're like, yeah, we're going to film in Trafalgar. Like, we're going to do with these sort of big shots. They must have felt really like they finally got somewhere. They finally
Look at the salutes that the Daleks are making. I mean, you cannot get away with that now.
Oh no.
I mean, that's terrible.
They probably didn't think, God love them, they were like, didn't. Because it's the longer arms as well, which doesn't help. They're not like short ones that you tend to get nowadays.
It's kind of fun, like looking through old London, in the 60s and going, well, I recognise that, I recognise that.
And you know they're in Britain because even though it's the end of the world, they're having a cup of tea. So what is the vetoed thing, by the way? I was going to ask.
I think it's the Resistance, isn't it?
I was going to say, is that their name then?
I think so. Yeah, basically, shut the fuck up.
Stop being a negative Nancy.
Yes, negative numpty. Oh, Barbara.
Yeah, I like to think a little bit that being with the Doctor softened Barbara a bit.
Mm.
Sort
And
of-
see him as well.
Yeah, it was like a nice little that they were sort of, I don't say opposites, but like yeah, the sort of she got a bit softer yeah, it's a nice little payoff, isn't it? Really between them.
Babette says it's easy to resist joining a resistance with such a meh name.
I'm gonna say if that's the resistance, it's not a very like let's go and get them sort of boy's name, is it?
Vetoed.
But then, like I said, I joked it's in Britain.
It's interesting because it's a it's a past tense thing as well.
Yeah, but like I joked, I would think if we did have a resistance, we probably would name it something very tame in this country.
Yeah, stiff upper lip and all that. What?
Yeah, it'd probably be something very lame sounding.
Yeah, bricks. Fuck you, Daleks. That's quite powerful.
He's like, "Yep, I'm coming off my chair for this and being my big heroic moment."
Oh, went out like a boss.
Oh, impressive though. He still managed to chuck it, even though he was being shot at the time.
Yeah, it didn't have much effect though, did it?
Nah, but it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Bit of a suicide mission.
Yeah, I think that's how they did it. That's how they wrote it. Because like Barbara even says, he wasn't stupid. He gave us some time. Oh, this is funny. It's like he's sort of missing a head, Dalek. Have you not noticed that?
Well, humans all look the same, don't they?
Yeah, we just. It's like how sharks just see like legs and think, yeah, that's a seal.
And Babette says Barbara was a true feminist character without having to announce herself as such. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, but that's the thing. And here's like, if a character has to state that they're female and they're strong, that's my little rule now.
Yeah, I'm powerful. Oh, that means
Yeah,
you're not
if
powerful.
I hear any of that, I instantly don't like you, love. If you do that in anything, any female characters now.
Do you question my authority, child? Hmm?
Do you question my authority, child? Hmm?
Oh.
Oh,
nearly
he
gonna pull
knows.
off his
So
line.
I think this is the moment when he starts to click as well. Where he's like, oh yeah, I need to let her go. I need to let her do her own life.
You can see he really just doesn't want her turning out like him, kind of wander for the rest of her life.
Mm.
He it's up to him to be the wanderer. And character options just recently made Black Dalek. You can see with its complete livery on that. This is the leader,
Mm.
and I've got it.
Nice.
Actually, quite happy with character options making the classic series Daleks, because they made a good job of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to make money.
Yeah.
So the merch has to be clever. It has to actually go with what sells nowadays.
Well, apparently, classic series stuff sells more than the new series stuff.
I've got to admit, I am tempted to try and have a bit of, because I've never had any of the B&M stuff, so I'm tempted to have a bit of a route about and see what takes my fancy from B&M. Because I haven't got a Doctor basically sort of action figure of anybody, and I'm like, I'm now sort of starting to think I would like one, and there's a few I wouldn't mind. I'm not one of these like this. I have a few Doctors now that I quite like, so if I could get any of them as like an action figure.
Well, I think that they've still got TARDIS sets. A Doctor with a TARDIS, but I don't know if they're going to be releasing any more in the future.
The end of tomorrow.
Another good cliffhanger to this.
It's a bomb. Where's our fearless leader?
I am here.
Aha, I am here.
Welcome, everybody. Right, well, yeah, let's get straight into it because it's great. So if Charlotte wants to do the countdown and we could just get going on the next one, that'd be fantastic.
So ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Oh come on! You went northern then.
Go.
But I didn't.
Go. You went go. Go.
No, because my northern accent, it depends. It comes really thick and then it doesn't.
Woo, 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 woo.
Ba-dam, ba-dam.
Woo, 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 woo. I don't know what that is, but we'll just keep going with it. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo.
I don't know what that sounds like actually. I can't even think of one.
Someone let the cat out.
No, do you know what it sounds like? Do you know cartoon cats? When like they meow and it sounds like a cartoon, not an actual cat. Yeah. Oh, we'll get Teddy going off if we're not careful.
Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Is that you, Dave?
Oh, hello, Dave.
Is Dave there?
God, if anybody, I do tend to think if anybody just randomly comes into bits of our streams.
By the way, no offense, I know there's a lady here with us, but doesn't those two pillars look a bit like you know what, lads?
Well, they're actually made of. Well, the real ones are actually made of cannons.
Oh,
That's what bollards were made of. You know, after all those wars and things, you know, they had all these leftover cannons, and they turned them into bollards.
Right, they look a bit like
bit of information there. Fine.
Well, I didn't think that, but I suppose there's a reason.
That's pretty cool time lapse, isn't it?
Yeah, with the acid burning through the.
Oh, see now, Babette, is there a Jamie action figure? Oh, now you've told me there's a Jamie in Second Doctor 1. Ah. Yes, I'm guessing he has a kilt then. whatever version of
Yeah,
Jamie.
yeah, and you'll get them for cheap now because this current era is actually hurting the old merchandise as well. You might actually get it cheaper than you normally would.
I wonder
So
if you
there
can
you
look
go.
up his kilt.
I trust you to think of that. But we both commented that one of the few little nice bits in the Two Doctors is when it's not nice what's happening to him, but they knew what they were doing with that shot with Jamie on the table and his legs. Oh, so no Jamie ones yet. I'm surprised that there's no Jamie figures.
Mm.
Because he's a quite well-known and liked classic companion, I've always thought.
Well, look, not even one figure? That
Yeah, I was
doesn't
going to
make
say,
sense.
not even one. Jamie?
That's crazy. He's like one of the most popular
Yeah.
companions.
You've surprised us all with that.
Maybe it is the kilt issue. Maybe it's that.
Maybe, yeah. just too much on show for them to.
But they've got like characters like, you know, I mean they've got that bloody
I was going to say Perry.
Cassandra, you know.
Perry. I mean, for God's sake.
I mean they've got so many like incidental characters.
Yeah, but no Jamie.
They've got Mandeep Gill for crying out loud. Yeah. And they've got no Jamie. That's so insulting.
Oh, come on. I feel like that needs to be corrected.
Hello, Lee Halford. And there you go. And apparently, Babette says you never see Jamie depicted wearing the McCrimmon tartan, which is blue. Ah. Well, maybe he did, but it was in black and
but we wouldn't know, would we?
But yeah, I mean, we've seen him in red tartan, and if that's not the right clan tartan, that's pretty bad. That's Scots exploitation. Scots exploitation. It could have been interesting to have had the Cybermen start off as robot men, wouldn't it? That could have been an interesting origin for the Cybermen.
Yeah, but I like the original origin. I think I would rather because I'm guessing you have listened to Spare Parts, haven't you, Lee?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that to change as their origin at this point. I think Talos and the whole humans gradually knowing that they were dying on a planet, so that they're slowly like losing their humanity and becoming robots. I think that's such a chilling idea.
Yeah.
Especially the way they do it in Spare Parts. With the scene with the girl. That's just heartbreaking. Because it's a bit like what they did with Bill. Wasn't it? Later on in the series.
So they must have been filming active coal mines for those scenes because the coal mines were still active back in those days, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, Disaster's just said something else. Harry's the only male companion they've released.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, I'm calling it. That's sexist. I'm calling that. That's sexist. You can do all the females, but you won't do males. Come on, character.
Rob Fellow says there's because sorry I was away there I needed a pee break. I couldn't hold it any longer. There are YouTube videos on how to make a custom Jamies. So there you go, Charlie. You can make as many of them as you want.
Oh God, I'm not
It's
that
McCrimmon
great.
phobic. There we go.
Yeah.
No, I'm calling it the sexist. If they've only got Harry. Because he wasn't even a full-time companion.
It would have been good if they released Sarah Jane and the Doctor and Harry in a pack, rather than just Harry and a couple of Sontarans.
Yeah, that was a bit of. I saw that. I was like, and I didn't know. I'm not classic, and even I was a bit. Why have you put him with two Sontarans?
I mean, if it was a Santaran experiment, a pack,
Yeah, that would have made sense.
that would have been better. And it would, unless it's done because these sets are cheap. You know, they're not. They're not going into detail. They're just there just to kind of, you know, to sell for collectors. They're no
Well, in fairness,
expensive
they've
sets.
put out for the price that they put out this stuff for. They've put
Yeah.
out some pretty impressive stuff. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree with you. I don't know why they wouldn't do like the sets the way you've said them. But let's be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, okay, you'll get Harry with a couple of Santarans, but you might get a Doctor and Sarah Jane somewhere else, and you can put the three of them together yourself. I know you probably want them from the serial that they were in or whatever, and you want that costume wherever they were wearing.
I just want to say that I like
They're
that
still
line there.
doing them, and I mean, they do them for the price that they do them for. I mean, B&M should be supported big time.
I like that line there that Ian said, we're getting new orders to the Robot Man.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, just gonna handle that.
Nicholas Horton's in the chat. Welcome, Nicholas Horton. Nice to see you. But seriously, they, you know, I mean, look, we don't have any stores over here, and Ian, as you know, Ian Time Lord, does reviews of these, and he was doing some of the Daleks and the what you call it, the TARDISes that they had. And
Yeah.
I wish I could get them over here. Like, we
the
don't have
TARDISes
those
is
sets over
lovely.
there, so I'm kind of jealous of you Brits.
Yeah, the
having these
TARDIS.
stores.
Yeah, the police boxes they do are gorgeous.
I know. And
I mean, 1999 for a Doctor figure in a TARDIS. I mean, that's a complete bargain. And back in the day, I mean, you couldn't get toys like that back in the day when the series was at its most popular. With Peter Davison.
I had some of the Dapol figures back in the day.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Dapol Daleks.
I had the TARDIS. I had Seventh Doctor, Cyberman. I didn't have any Daleks.
But the
really
Dapol things, the Dapol Daleks and all that, they just break because of the kind of plastic it's made by. Because you just fracture quite easy.
Like they're made of Bakelite or something.
Yeah.
I still got my Cyberman somewhere. I went over it with a silver pen.
But it was the BBC at the time. They weren't quite up front with photographs and all that. And with Dapol stuff, I met David Boyle at the exhibition of the Universe in Blackpool. I think about how many years? Maybe about 5 years ago now or something. And I was quite pleased to meet him. And I was talking to him about the Dapol stuff, and he said to me that K9 was supposed to be
because they made it green
colour, but when it was photographed in the grass by John Nathan Turner, and it was sent to him. When it was put into production, all the K9s came out green because they assumed that it was a kind of green shade to all the K9s.
Yeah, I remember
because
that.
It was the reflection.
I want to see TARDIS consoles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got those miniature ones that they produce, but I mean, they're not working ones. I want to see those. You know, I'd love to have a collection of those.
I would like character options to make a TARDIS console, and even with the kind of plastic walls, you know, like so you can backlight them and all that, from the Hartnell and the Baker and Pertwee.
That'd be fantastic.
There's a lot of people who actually do little like stories.
They make their own
with action figures on YouTube, and it's so like nice to see. I've watched a few, and it's and they're like full length, like they've basically written a Doctor Who script almost, and they're just using the action figures.
Well, I've seen some amazing, homemade miniature TARDIS consoles that light up, and the time rotor, the central column goes up and down. I keep calling it time rotor, but there's a discrepancy, really, isn't there? Because in the Hartnell time rotor was something completely different, but then later on, sort of the column became known as the time rotor.
I'm quite reluctant to buy the Eagle Moss TARDIS consoles because they're not perfect. In any way, it's like the paintwork is very splodgy and all that, and the glass cylinder for the time rotor. I mean, it just looks like just a bit of
I want a proper
from a
lights up moves kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. If you're going to be buying something, especially off Eagle Moss, because the prices of their bloody figures and stuff, you know. I mean, even they released a master one as well, and there was complaints about that one. I mean, look, you're going to be doing these things, right? Especially Eagle Moss, a company like that, and charging as much as they do for them. They've got to be pretty accurate, you know. Yeah, the B&M stuff you can forgive to a certain extent because it's so cheap. The fans are not going to care. Like the point is, they're still pretty well made. They still look impressive, you know. But if you're paying that extra few quid like you do with Eagle Moss, you want the stuff to be perfect. I'm sorry, but it's not too much to ask, you know.
And even with the Big Chief, Tom Baker models and all that, it's the costume just looks ill-fitting, and especially with Matt Smith's. It's the costume on it. It looks it's supposed to kind of resemble a doll or something like that, but it just looks like one of these dolls, you know, just a badly ill-fitted costume.
Yeah,
it just doesn't look right.
I think sometimes the problem is like the Doctor's costumes. They're very detailed, and on a person, you can do that. But when you try and then do a miniature version of it, if it's very detailed, it just doesn't look right on anything, does it?
Yeah.
I mean, with the character options, season 18 Tom Baker, you know how all the stripes in the season 18 scarf. They had an example of the figure wearing the season 18 scarf, and then when they released the figure, the scarf wasn't right. I mean, the scarf was just painted patches of purple and burgundy and bright red colours in it. It just did not match up to the prototype.
If you look at the dapple figure of the Tom Baker, Doctor,
doesn't even
have the scarf or anything.
Well, it's not even that; it's just his face.
Yeah, that as well.
It's just like Tom had a manic grin, but when you do that on a doll and you do it cheaply to look at it, it's just like that is nightmare. I feel that doll.
Yeah.
You can see where Terry Nation got his idea for the Survivors TV show from this. I think.
Yeah.
You're in front of a painted backdrop, darling.
I don't think it's a painted backdrop. I think it's a kind of blow-up photograph.
Yeah.
You know, of a kind of London kind of
street
housing, a part of a street.
It's like when you go to a theatre and you do the backdrops, you know, the way you pull a rope and you fall down. That's what that house instead looks like in the background. That's exactly what it looks like. But I mean, look, it was very clever. This story, the reason why I haven't been saying much is because I'm actually glued into this story.
Yeah, it's a good story.
This is actually one of my favourite Hartnell stories, so this is going to rate very high for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there anyway. Back to the story. Back to the story.
Now, the Slither didn't appear in the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD. It was just in this one.
Yeah, look how confident though Ian is. Like he's got a
Yeah.
gun pointed at him right now.
Brotherhood of Man. I
Yeah,
started to think of that song. Save all your kisses for me, Uncle.
Hi, Shaggy Love. Bingo, Shelly.
I don't think they've actually released the Slither in a figure yet.
Oh, they'll get around to it. They seem to do
Yeah.
every creature, don't they?
When
Hello,
I first saw
Shelley.
this, I thought the Slither was quite terrifying.
It's a good name
that-
as well.
Yeah.
And also something that I forgot to comment on that I haven't yet. I like how desperate humanity is in this. Like you can tell that they've been run down and sort of left to the very last sort of few fighters. It does that very well as well. It sort of all the characters give you that image and contribute towards it. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, I'm getting Resident Evil feels right now watching this because it's like sewers and like mutant alligators in a bit.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, Shelley, it's a bit sad. You probably missed it, but I said it got me a bit teary at the end.
And you can tell it's a baby, you know.
Yeah, it is. I was like, oh,
So cute.
little alligator. Also, you can tell they blatantly just nicked that from like a bit of a nature program. So, yeah, that's just that. That'll do. That's our alligator.
I've been eating a lot of beans. It's going to remind me of the Blazing Saddles scene.
Yep, they're like, right, we're off. Ugh,
Yeah.
thanks for the beans, mate.
Yeah. See you later. Ooh.
Dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum.
Dum bum bum ba dum. Biddy bidoo.
The Waking Alley.
Right.
Got to be, I didn't quite get why that's the title for the next episode. The others I got. That one I was a bit.
Right, are we ready to get stuck into the next one?
Right.
Yep.
Right, is everybody in the chat ready? Please press 1. As soon as I see a 1 on StreamYard, I know there's a few on YouTube. Your StreamYard takes about 3 or 4 seconds later. So, yeah, we've got ones. Okay, Charlotte.
Okay,
Walk
5,
away.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Go. I love this opening theme. I love this title sequence. I think it's one of the best.
Oh, Lee's got a question. Just putting it out there, what would you say is William's... let me figure it out. What would you recommend as William Hartnell's best story?
Best
What would
story.
we recommend as William Hartnell's best story? Panel.
Ooh. Well, I think this is probably right up there, actually.
I quite like the
sorry?
I quite like the Aztecs.
Yeah,
We watched that one.
Yeah, I think it's a really good Barbara story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I like the 10th Planet. I like the War Machines.
Yeah, the War Machines are good.
An Unearthly Child I still love. So yeah, so it's probably this one and 10th Planet and the War Machines right up there for me.
Yeah, you're probably going to wish you got out of that now.
Babette wants to know which episode we're on. We're on episode 5.
Yep.
The Walking Alley, and we are 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Disaster Area, Celestial Toymaker. If we had it all, yeah, it's a blight really that we have so many missing episodes of so many great stories that and because we don't have the complete story, it kind of hampers your enjoyment of it. That's the sad thing.
And it's also the animations are not that good. Well, some of them aren't.
Yeah,
I
some
think
of them worse.
The current, whoever they've got currently doing them, It looks
There's some
cheap,
guys
doesn't
in
it?
India, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
changed. No, they changed the animation team from the one that they had for the last couple of ones, which was great.
Yeah.
The animation, yeah, it's still not the same with the animation. I have to be honest with you, but you know, it's kind of cool that we do get to see these completed stories. Obviously, not the way we'd want them, but it's at least we are still getting them animation wise. I know, like, it'll never be the same, and hopefully they
Yeah.
do find some of these missing episodes to be great. If they can continue to find them,
It'd be
that'll be
great if they
absolutely
found
fantastic.
the evil of the Daleks and the power of the Daleks.
Mm.
I agree.
Because
Well, at least we've got all the
I
all
really
the
want to
pertinent
see
ones.
the Troughton's entrance.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Like properly. I think that's the saddest one, really, isn't it? Because we
Yeah.
don't get to see the post-regenerative Doctor at the end of the first one.
Yeah, no, just to see how they did it. It's just because I sort of recently said, this is new show, but it's more. If I were to be in charge, I would take the gambit and have a doctor that's already regenerated, and do a bit of a Rose situation. I've recently have said this because I just think we're getting a bit samey with regenerations now. Like they all seem to act in the same fashion. So but Troughton, it would be interesting just to see how the first one did. They do any of the sort of quirks we now know as sort of like staples?
Well, we've got the animated version and the audio surviving, so we've got an idea, but it's not quite the same, is it?
Especially with Troughton, because he was such a physical actor. I think that's the real shame that one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
doctors.
He's the only one who
that
regenerated
you
into his
needed to see
costume.
facial expressions
Yeah.
for this. To be honest, it doesn't work with the animation because obviously Polly and Ben are in the TARDIS, aren't they? And they're questioning them. But in the animation, it doesn't really. I know they tried their best to make it come across, but they failed. For the simple fact is, it's not the real footage. You just have the audio, and the animation is always going to be a little bit slightly off anyway, which it was.
Well, it's
Yeah.
very static, isn't it? I mean, look, Scream of Schalke was done, what, 2001 or something like that? I can't remember. But, you know, even that stands up better
Yeah.
at the moment. I mean, that was, you know, nearly 20 years
I think
ago.
it was 2003, the Scream of
Oh,
the Schalke.
2003, yeah. Whatever it was. But, I mean, it's still coming up to 20 years old, and it's still better than what we're getting at the moment. You know, that's sad.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's a shame that it's Troughton that has this issue because, like I said, if you look at his performance, like they're all, I think all doctors have that physical aspect. It's just varies, sort of. But I think Troughton is one of the best ones at it. He's because so much of his doctor's personality, it's how he sort of twists and does certain things with his body. So you can try and animate that, but you're never going to get it like Troughton. So I think it's a shame that out of all the doctors that we've got, they're going to have to rely on animation. It's him because of that reason.
Yeah.
You know, I like what they do with the deep fakes. I mean, within time and the advances in technology and computer generated imagery, I mean, they could really pull it off and really convincing.
Definitely. I think that eventually we'll see recreations of the missing episodes and then deep fake the faces onto the actors.
Imagine having them all deep faked and having all the doctors together.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, then you could have adventures with, you know, Tom and, you know, as he was back in the day.
Yeah, then
and we could do all those on Maid stories, you know, the ones at the Big Finish.
Yeah, but that'd be very expensive for starters.
Yeah, well, at first, but you'll get cheaper, you know.
And I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like to see Pertwee back. Wouldn't like to see Troughton back that way. I think it's disrespectful. They've had
no way. You know, I can understand that, but I think at the same time as well, you know, the characters exist, and any sort of new adventures? I mean, we hear it on Big Finish. We have someone else playing the Third Doctor, and we have
but
his
some
face doing
fans
the
don't
First
class
Doctor.
them as canon. So, like, that's the beauty of Big Finish. You can decide whether you want it to be canon
Well,
or
that's it.
not.
I mean, if Big Finish ended up doing remakes of missing episodes or new stories with deep fake and do it that way, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you can dip into it if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be canon necessarily.
Lee, here's my question then. Would you feel comfortable having another writer write Tom? Because that's what's going to happen if they do deep fakes.
Another writer?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the original writers doing those stories. It would be new writers, but they're using technology to technically bring these doctors back.
I thought it was very disrespectful for Moffat to do that to William Hartnell for Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying with the deep fake stuff. Like, it's not good. It's not going to be Hinchcliffe writing Tom's Doctor. It's going to be somebody else.
Yeah,
but he does Big Finish. He does have writers, new writers writing for him, and I mean, the thing is, whilst he's still here, we could always use what stories he's done for Big Finish, and they could always take the audio from that and turn it into a deep fake thing later down the line.
Yeah,
but at least it will be the authentic performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think it very much depends on who's doing it. But in today's current climate, I wouldn't want current.
Well, no, obviously, I'm thinking in an ideal world,
get an actor with the same mannerisms, the way Tom used to act and all. It's just too much, man.
Yeah, I think it is.
Get in an actor to deep fake their face, obviously, but this actor that they get in to play Tom would have to know every little facet of his performance, from his movement of his face to the movement of his body, his body language. I'm sorry, for Luke Skywalker, it works because basically he just walked through a corridor, right? It worked for The Mandalorian. I don't think this would work for that. Look, I get your point of view. I really do.
If my desire and need for more Tom Baker's Doctor,
I think it should be. I think we have these stories and we should celebrate the stories.
Yeah, don't try and carry on that legacy without
and leave his legacy alone before some gobshite writer comes in and ruins it all.
Well, yeah, that's obviously the big fear, isn't it? That people will scupper it or make it something that was not authentic to his portrayal. Yeah,
they probably tried to change facets of his character and stuff, like they've tried to do with Kirk. William Shatner's been very vocal about it. Now some of these fans are trying to say that Shatner's Kirk was bisexual, and he came out straight and said it. Nope.
No,
that's not.
And I defended him for that as well.
Yeah. So I mean, they do. So, and you'll get writers of that mind. Remember, there's a writer CW.
Yeah, but again, I'm talking about in an ideal situation. Not like current day situation.
Come on, there's no ideal situation here at the moment.
No, not at the moment.
No, it's nice to dream though.
Yeah,
exactly. Just dreaming out loud.
Yeah, but at least with the animations, they have to keep to the audio. And I think that's one of the real good things about the animations. They can't go too off sort of script because they wouldn't fit the audio. So they have to.
Well, I think, if you're going to deep fake something like Tom Baker, then at least stick to the audio that he's already done. But again, you're quite right that all those nuances of his physical performance would have to be absolutely spot on. So, yeah.
It's why I would be like that with Troughton.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it though, because already people would be skeptical, right? Then you get someone in that hasn't got the mannerisms of a Troughton or a Baker. It could go horribly wrong, and then
well, it'll still be better than the animation we're getting. I mean, there's no two ways about that. I think if it was a choice between animation and a deep fake, I'd go for the deep fake.
Yeah, I do agree with you. The deep fake would be better. Look, the animations are limited in what they can do, but they do capture some of the facial expressions really well. They actually do in some of the animated stories that they've done.
Maybe the ones not the recent.
But the recent ones, no, I definitely agree with you. The recent ones are awful. I mean, it took me. Do you remember we got that? We got the latest one. What was it? Fury from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep was
dreadful.
Dreadful.
It literally took me 3 days to watch it. 3 days to watch it because I couldn't get it because of it wasn't because of the story, by the way, folks. It was because of the animation. The animation threw me right off.
Hello, Legend. Legend's in. Daniel's in.
Oh, hello,
Daniel.
I think it's because it just does not really tie in with the story. I mean, they've created new scenes and new images for it, and it just does not feel like the representative of the actual audio and the actual serial, the missing serial itself.
We had the kiss, and she's still holding a dead fish. There we go.
Yeah, but I really like the storyline with these two. I think the chemistry's good. Like, they write them really sweetly.
Yeah, eventually AI will be able to just work out the mannerisms of the physicality of a performer anyway. So that's very true.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's just to be careful what.
It'll be the uncanny valley, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Like I said, mine's just be careful because we're seeing this sort of attitude right now of canon doesn't matter. We can change history that we don't like. We can go back and change things. And I just think the more we look into deep fake and stuff like that, the more that's a door we might not want to open.
Well, the thing is, it's probably more it's probably going to be something that you can't stop anyway. It's more likely to happen than not. That's the thing. So obviously you've got to be guarded against that kind of thing. But again, it's down to future generations of fans to be the stalwarts. And I'm a bit worried about the current lot. I'll say that much.
But just to think about it, and way back in 1993 for the 30th anniversary and for the Dimensions in Time, I mean, you think about it, the disembodied heads floating about a William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton in the Rani's console room. I mean, isn't that more disrespectful?
Yeah, but that that's of its time. They were trying to be doing something different and cutting edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull off, but
legit question: should I watch Dimensions in Time just for the laughs?
Well, I think you have to. You have to put yourself through that to be initiated into the club.
I've not seen
Maybe we should do that for a watch along.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Charlotte's breakdown.
I'll make a song out of it.
And I'm just like, I'm tempted just for the laughs and giggles.
Well, you've kind of got to experience it, I think.
And I remember having the 3D glasses, thinking this was going to be something, and I put on the 3D glasses. It didn't make any difference, and then I took them off, and I said, "Oh, there's no even difference into the footage." It was the weakest 3D thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I suppose it still is weak.
I remember the 3D version of was it Jaws 3? Was it Jaws 3 they did 3D? And everybody, when you go into the video store, you got free 3D glasses. And of course, put the videotape in, sat down to watch the bleeding thing. It was awful, man.
Yeah.
Now that movie is awful in itself, right? You can get a normal version of it. It still is a pretty awful movie anyway. But in 3D, it was even worse. It was crap. Listen, I mean, after Jaws 1, right, Jaws 2 was a bit, Jaws, a revenge. Get the hell. And then they actually did Jaws 4, the revenge with Michael Caine. A shark actually goes to hotter waters in the Caribbean. Like, makes no sense whatsoever, except this shark has a vendetta against the fam. It was the stupidest thing ever. Just Jaws 1 was great. right? Because it was suspenseful. We didn't get to see the shark until the last 20 minutes of the bloody movie or something. That's why it worked, right? And they just overdo these things, like, man.
Yeah, it was always the threat was implied.
Yeah.
It was. You had the thing with the harpoon and those floater boys. And then it was
That's
just.
right.
You see it going under. It's like that how powerful it was.
Yeah, plus
You see it going through. You see it go past the boat, and you're
Jaws
panning along the inside of the
underrated,
boat.
says
That's
Matthew.
amazing.
I can't believe you actually like Jaws 4. It's not that it's underrated. I think the whole premise is a bit stupid, though. I mean, a shark wouldn't go to warmer waters, especially a great white. It just doesn't make sense. If it had happened in the same location as all the other ones with Michael Caine in it, I probably would have bought it.
Hello, Kieran Coley.
Yeah, and he also said he's thinking of joining the TARDIS and Flux. So Karen, so I probably butchered that name. Anyway, just come on. You don't have to be on camera. I wasn't to begin with. Like, I was very nervous, so I would come on just with an image. So if you don't want to show your face, just come on, have a bit of a chat.
Yeah, that's it. And as we call her, she's our token female on the channel.
I know, I'm a token
I'm
female
a sexist
now.
pig, so I have to have a token female on the panel, and Charlotte has decided quite kindly to be that token. I'm only messing. Charlotte is a very important voice on this channel, along with a few other people. So you're more than welcome to come on anytime. It's every Friday. And as Charlotte said, you don't need a camera or anything like that. Just once we can hear your voice, that's good enough for us. Yeah, and that's it. And we'll have plenty to discuss. I'm pretty sure next week in Doctor Who, we're going to have a lot to discuss. Trust me.
Oh, it's actually... I won't say out anything then. I was going to say...
There'll be stuff to discuss anyway. Yeah. It's always very I have to say the Doctor Who news is more exciting than what's coming in Series 13. Nobody gives a crap about what's coming in Series 13. I've noticed I'll put up a video about Series 13, nobody gives a crap. But as soon as I put up something about what's possibly gonna happen, everybody jumps on that. People just don't give a crap about the show. They're more excited about the news than anything else.
Yeah,
which is sad. It's sad though, how did they get here? It's only had to take it 7 years. 7 years. But 3 years under Chibnall, but 7 years in total, because it did decline under Moffat. I'm not gonna sit here and say it didn't. It definitely did. But it was a slow decline. Well, I'd even go back further and say at the end of Matt Smith's era, it started to decline. That's when the
I think it was always going to face that after, the celebration
50th.
of the 50th. It was always going to be peak Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And then anything that came after that was kind of like, after the party, it's like, well, the party's winding down. It's time to go home.
That's it. I love this scene. Yeah. Brilliant.
I love these Daleks.
These Daleks and the same with the movie Daleks. I quite like. I like the deeper bass, and I like the eye. I like the silver eye in these Daleks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also quite like the smaller heads. I think they actually look good with smaller heads, these ones.
The penetration explosive.
Daleks are very.
I was going to say that you don't get too excited.
They're quite fat though, aren't they? These Daleks, chubby Daleks.
Yeah, especially if you see them from the side.
Well, these Daleks were specially altered for this serial, so they could go over street pavements and all that, and bumpy bumpy corners and
Yeah.
bash into things like that.
Like bumper cars. And Kieran, you're very welcome.
We're very
And
welcoming lot.
honestly, being inside one of them, I was inside one of them at an exhibition. I just managed to get a wee shot of Dalek. It was somebody's kind of fan built Dalek, and I went in and I sat down in it, and I found that when everything the whole section was put on, I found it was very difficult to steer it. You know,
Yeah.
if you were going through a door, you're bashing that Dalek against the door frame. So the people inside these Daleks, they were actually dancers. Believe it or not, they had
Really?
they had skills, that kind of sort of skill to kind of maneuver, and
Yeah.
that's why they didn't bash into everything and that. They had that skill to kind of
Yeah,
move the Dalek.
Yeah, I've never been in one. The closest I got was when I went to the Doctor Who experience, and they had like half the Dalek, and you could like go in the half and move the arms, but that was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we're ready for the last part.
We are. Is everybody in the chat ready? We've done well tonight, folks.
Yeah.
We've done well. We've actually breezed through this, but this is what happens when the story is good and we don't want to stop. You know? So, who has Troughton this week?
I do.
Lee.
Right. Have you picking your story?
I have.
Right. Is it a 4-parter or a 6-parter? I need to know first.
It's a 6-part.
Oh, a 6-parter. What are you trying to do to me, man?
It's a good story.
Right. What is it? What have you chosen?
I've chosen The Invasion.
Oh well, that's a good one. That is.
Oh, that's unit, isn't it? First unit.
Yes,
yes.
It's a unit story, and the Colonel Lethbridge Stewart is now Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart.
Did we not already do that one though? I'm not trying to throw a spanner in the works, but I think we've already done The Invasion.
I don't remember it.
Maybe you have.
Right, well,
have you done the moon
that's
base?
the story. Listen, that we said sometimes we might actually repeat them because we forget. We should really write down what we're doing.
Yeah.
But,
yes, you should.
How many times?
But it's Invasion, so there you go. That's next week's story. It's a 6-parter, thanks to Lee. I think everybody just wants to piss me off with all the 6-parters. Can you not be normal and pick 4 24-minute episodes? No.
No, I'll be nice and I'll do a 4-parter for my.
No, because I see. Here's the difference, right? This is gonna sound bad. I do love Troughton, but I prefer Pertwee. So it doesn't matter. You choose wisely, and he's got plenty of good stories anyway.
I'm still trying to think about it.
No problem. And nobody on this panel will try influence you. Yeah, right? Isn't that right, Lee? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's 8 episodes. Sorry, my mistake.
What?
Oh God! Should we maybe do that in 2 parts then? Do like 4 parts for 1 week and then 4 parts the next week.
Oh, like seriously, man. Right. Let's.
Unless you want me to pick a different story.
Oh.
But
you're picking all the long stories for anyway. We will eventually get to them, but I mean, we've done a long story now. I thought you would have probably thought, well, we've done a long story this week. I'll pick a shorter story next week.
Why don't we split it over 2 weeks then?
Oh, because then that's way then. Because I want to get to Pertwee.
All right, should I pick a different one?
No, you've picked in the Invasion. What I might do is, I know Charlotte has her tea at 6, but if you can be ready for around between 6:30, quarter to 7 next week.
Yeah, I can try, and if I'm not there, just start. Okay.
We'll start 15 minutes. Yeah, because I know you already watch it. We'll start 15 minutes early and get a bit of a head start on. And we're going to start straight away. So as soon as I come on, my panel will be on. We'll get everybody to press 1 and we get straight into it. 8 bleeding parts. You're something else, you are. Seriously, man. That's it. But you know what? We should all vote not to let Lee pick any more stories anymore. No, he doesn't pick the
no
worst
Patrick
stories,
Troughton
right?
stories.
But then when he picks a
Oh,
good
but-
story, he makes sure he picks one that's 8 bleeding episodes long. Well done. Let's give him a medal there,
But
folks.
it's a
Well,
classic episode, right?
well-
It is. I know. I do agree with you. It is a good story, but Jesus Christ, man.
Could have
Well, we
been
had
worse.
Daleks, now it's Cybermen.
But we'll do it. Listen, but we will do it. We'll get through them. We'll do it. We'll do it all in one day. Don't worry. We will. We'll be here. We'll be all fighting fit. So, Charlotte, you might as well. Well, I thought this was a long stream, but next week's one's going to be long. So, you could do the countdown for the last episode there.
Well, you've
please.
got a week to recover. So.
Oh, be quiet,
Yeah,
you.
and
I'm
my
not talking to you now for
Yeah.
a week.
And my battery's on the flits. So it's not on the flits, it's getting low. So I'll do the countdown and then I might drop out because my battery's like.
Well, do you want to give your rating then? So.
Yeah, I'll quickly do that now then. I really enjoyed this one. Like, this was my first viewing and I didn't know about the Susan stuff and a lot of the other things. I really like how humanity's like on the low. It's like desperate times. The Daleks are manipulative. They're very powerful. Everybody does something in the TARDIS team. Oh, I'm a bit slow again. I like how, and also they're separated. I really think it works, this story, that they're not really together for a good chunk of it. So I think I'll give this an 8 because I do think it drags a little bit near the end. I'm going to be honest. I do think the ending's a little bit draggy, but it's not as bad as we've had for previous classics.
Yeah, especially when they're crap stories chosen by Lee. You know, they can be really a drain on us all.
I don't know what you mean.
Well,
Well, it could have been
listen,
worse. I could have
8
chosen the Web Planet.
8 is a good one. Yeah, well, yeah.
I think I'm about to.
Right, I think that's Charlotte actually officially gone.
Right.
Right.
Sounds like.
Well, all hail, Charlotte. Thank you
All
for
hail
joining us.
Charlotte.
Lost but not forgotten.
Right, well,
She's caught in the time lash.
she's caught. Yeah, probably. I don't know whether to remove her or not because I don't know whether that be rude. But just seeing a still image there is
We can have that as a memorial.
Oh, we could actually. Yeah, yeah. Charlotte, the Charlotte Shrine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we'll remove her because if her computer is gone, then it's not going to go away because she hasn't removed herself. Oh no, there you go. There you go. Didn't have to do anything there. Right. So we're on the last one. So I suppose we might as well let the other queen of the panel do the countdown. So Lee, if you'd like to do the honors.
Fine. Is everyone ready? Yeah. I guess. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Doesn't feel the same.
Nah, it doesn't feel the same. Charlotte does it better. Sorry, no
Yeah.
thanks, Lee. You give it a good go to put that
I gave it my
You
best.
do. You gave it a good go in honor of Charlotte. And it's always great having Charlotte on. So I've had a great weekend so far. I had Daniel on last night. We had Charlotte on tonight. You know, two of the co-hosts of Daniel's channel. Putting out some great content. But it was nice to talk to Daniel after the fact. Lee had to go because obviously he had Friday Night Tights.
Yeah, and I missed the start of that, and they bloody played the video then. I was like,
oh, no way. Yeah, me and Daniel were talking football, things that wouldn't interest Lee. Of course, we were talking football and stuff. It was nice to talk about something different other than Doctor Who as well. Yeah, it was a great little conversation. And then I put FIFA on and he was in bed and he says, I'm watching you while I'm in bed. And I was like, So I want to thank Daniel. Daniel, listen, Daniel's been with us from day one. And as Lee said off air, you know, he was back where he belongs. And I do agree with it. Even though he's doing his own thing, it was nice to have him back. So I just want to say thanks again, Daniel. It was nice seeing you come on and have you give your opinion. It's been a while. It's been a while, but it was good. That's why I want to do the format that way, because I think, if I do it that way, instead of us complaining all the time about the Chibnall era, if I just
Ian Crotcher.
all I'll do is right. So what I'll do is during the week I'll be doing videos on the TARDIS Zone of the articles that come out and giving my opinion. Then on Friday, then whatever I've spoke about and the articles I cover, then we're going to cover on the TARDIS Zone, and you guys are going to give your opinions on that. I feel that way we have a bit of structure to it. It works better. And actually, last night we got a lot of people getting involved, and everybody stuck to the topics of conversation, and it was great. We got some great opinions, didn't we, Lee? Actually, so yeah, folks. Every Friday now. It's not on Wednesdays anymore. Well, once a week seems to be the best, because at the end of the week, it makes more sense to leave it to the end of the week. Then we know what articles have been released from Monday to say Friday, and then that night, then we can discuss them. That way. So yeah, and in the meantime, I might get some information. The weeks that we're doing it, and if we do, then I'll obviously be releasing that news as well. And we got real super doctor back. Internet problems again. Scotland, and Ireland have been hammered by rain and wind. At real heavy rain, hailstones, wind, the whole lot. It's like we didn't have it during the winter at all. We had a real nice, calm winter. It's like the winter is kicked in now, and we're in March.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow tonight, parts of Scotland, and rumbles of thunder as well. It's crazy weather.
Yeah, I do have to be honest, I do like those Daleks as well, Lee. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. It's good though, I mean, look, it is sad that some of the episodes are missing throughout a couple of Doctor's eras. But BBC's policy back then, I say they even admit now it was the worst policy ever. But let's be thankful that we still do have a lot of them remaining, because we wouldn't be sitting here tonight all interacting with each other if it wasn't for Doctor Who. I think people kind of forget that. We're all connected because of the show. We've all got together because of the TV show. Absolutely fantastic. That's amazing.
It's a blessing, really. We are the masters of India. Colonialist bastards. She's making it up like General Lee, who I was named after. It's from the American Civil War, so she's just making shit up.
Oh, we've lost real Super Doctor again.
Oh, he's off.
Yeah, I want Evil of the Daleks to be found. I think all of us do. I think that's one story that all fans are unanimous about.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the one. That's the one that they want, really. And I agree. It's a story that look, it's another Dalek story, isn't it? So the Daleks, no matter what people say, I know during the new era they did have them a lot, but they didn't really do them justice or respect. So for me, if they were to bring the Daleks back, just do them properly. And that's the one thing I'll give Chris Chibnall praise for. I think he has tried to make them more sinister. Yeah, I don't like the design of them, but they are getting back to their evil ways, and he's not gone far enough. To be quite honest with you, they need to be eviler, but if that's even a word,
It is now.
but it is now. But yeah, they need to be that. They need to be the way they were in Classic Who. They need to have it to test and a disdain for every other living being. None of this. It's like lately under Chibnall and no under Moffat, it became a bit of a joke. And I didn't. Yeah, some of his Dalek episodes I didn't really enjoy at all. RTD, I think did the more justice in the New Who era than anybody else has done. As I said, Chibnall is trying to bring them back more evil. You even look at his Sontaran design; it looks like a kind of a throwback to the classic era. They definitely see he seems to have one thing I'll give him though. He does seem to have an eye for these kind of things when it comes to the Daleks. I think he's gotten the dialogue spot on as well, to be quite honest, which is the only thing that he's actually done well at the Daleks, in my opinion. Again, don't like the design, but the ones in the festive special, I should say, weren't actually too bad, even though they had those stupid neon lights on them. They weren't actually bad. I have to be honest, they weren't. So that's the one thing I'll give him praise for. He is trying to make them more sinister, but he's not going far enough for me. They need to scare the living shit out of kids like they did with us. That's what they need to do. When you see a Dalek, right, you should be jumping behind the sofa, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, that as a kid, that's what you should be doing. But they're not but they don't frighten kids anymore.
Well, now they're like neon,
Yeah, are they even allowed frightened kids anymore? That's the
Mm.
thing. Like the way we were scared when we watched Daleks for the first time, or even Cybermen. I mean, look at that famous scene in Tomb of the Cybermen with the music in the background. Right, you're a kid watching that back in the day. You're hiding behind the sofa. You're hiding behind the sofa. That thing that's scaring you to crap. You're going to bed with nightmares. That's what you need to do. You need to scare the kids. Kids don't mind being scared. It's part of life. Scare the crap out of them.
That's
And then
it.
if you
That's what Philip Hinchcliffe's mentality was. Scare the little buggers to half to death.
That's it. Scare them to death, but the parents will be there, but they'll enjoy it. Like if you're scaring kids that much, the parents are gonna enjoy it though.
Yeah, and the grandparents, they love all that.
Who doesn't like to see? Come on, we were all kids once. We were all scared shit. Do you know what used to scare the crap out of me as a kid? Not a word of a lie. Do you know the music out of Unsolved Mysteries, right? And I wouldn't even mind every time that show came on a Saturday night, right? Just before it, I'd need to go to the toilet to go into a dark hallway to go into the bathroom, and that music be playing in the back. I'd be literally nearly peeing myself, frightened to death because that music's playing in the background and me trying to run in. Seriously, I'd literally go into the toilet quick time, do me business, and I run back into the sitter. And me mom and dad be looking at what you running in for. That music, man. And
I used to watch a lot of horror movies when I was a kid, like The Fog.
Yeah, same here.
That terrified me. Even Michael Jackson's Thriller, The Werewolf in London.
Yeah. American Werewolf in London we're definitely doing, by the way. That'll be a film. I have picked next Thursday's movie.
Nice.
But American Werewolf in London will be one that we'll be doing in the next after this one that I've picked. It'll either be that week or the week after. I have to see if it's on Netflix first. And if it is, we're definitely doing American Werewolf in London. Listen,
cool.
for me, For me, it's the definitive werewolf movie. I'm
Should
sorry.
do the fog as well.
Yeah, I will.
The reason why that scared me more than anything else was that the fact it was set on my birthday.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like, what? That was freaky.
Actually, I'll give you a laugh. When they released the updated version of The Omen, they released it on the 21st of June, right? On the 6th month, yeah. So 6th month is June, yeah, isn't it? Yeah, 6th month is June. That was my birthday. They released The Omen on my birthday.
Yeah, and the fog was set on the 21st of April, which is my
Yeah.
birthday. This is like, okay, that's freaky.
Yeah. Oh, we got a £5 super chat off Nicholas Horton, and he says the Paradigm Daleks could have worked with a better color scheme, something more like a dark green, grey color scheme, and better writing. I agree. I like their I even like the voice that Moffat put on them. They were a bit
I
more
just thought that I thought that their
fat at the back
their
though.
turret thing, the looked like a tray for serving drinks, and that hunchback thing didn't. I didn't like
They
that.
were a bit fat at the back.
Mm.
If he had been slimmed, look, I could understand that he wanted to do his own, right? I don't know, right? I don't know if they would have worked in the bronze and gold, right? I don't know if they would have worked in that color scheme, but the pick colors like blue, yellow, white, they didn't look bad in the white actually or the black. They did them in white and black.
I like the black and grey Dalek,
But they were too fat. It's at least with the isn't it funny? We give about the Moffat ones being too fat, but with the Chibnall ones, we say they're too thin at the top. Like it's weird, isn't it?
Well, don't mess with what works. That's the, I mean, the Dalek design is a classic. It doesn't need to be altered.
That's what I mean. These stories need to be frightening kids, guys. That's what Doctor Who needs to go back to doing. You frighten the kids, right? If you're frightening the kids, then the adults, some adults are going to be, they won't be as scared as the kids, but you'll surprise the adults as well. That's what you need to do. Doctor Who needs to go back to that. I don't want all this childish nonsense that they have in it now. Doctor Who has to relate to adults, children, all type of people, right? That's what RTD did well, right? And this is what they did even well in the classic era. Verity Lambert knew our audience, right? She knew who our audience was. There were families, people that came home from work, sat down in front of the TV, had their tea with their kids, and what did they put on? BBC One, and for 24 minutes they got Doctor Who. So I mean, look, this is why their classic era will always be revered. They did things, that they won't even dare to do in New Who. I mean, RTD came close with the conversion of the humans when he did the Cybermen. That was quite sinister with the
Oh no! You've thrown Cheryl's chakras out of alignment.
Of what?
Yeah, Teddy's terrier tails popped up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's listening.
She's never going to reach nirvana with you.
Well,
waffling
she's got
on.
this meditation music that she puts on. Yeah, she's only had to literally going to bed. Said she was reading a chapter of her book. Don't be coming in here to my chat and causing problems there, woman. You go to sleep now or read your chapter of your book that you said you were going to do. And then put your meditation music on that doesn't work on you but works on me, and I end up falling asleep.
Night, Charlotte. Night, Charlotte. She's
night, Charlotte. Yeah, she puts on this meditation music and I end up going to sleep before her. It really annoys her. Right, because the voice is so calm. And now you get your body centered. Yeah, I think it's the voice that puts me asleep, really. And then it's got this weird space age music going on. It's like as if I'm in the 23rd, 24th century or something. It's good, though. It's good. We lost Super John again near the end because, internet problems. But if he pops back in, we sure get him in.
# we love Cheryl, Daniel. Hello, TARDIS, my old friend. Just the beginning. Just the beginning. Oh, Susan's face.
This whole thing is just sad now. I'm gonna be quiet now, but this is all sad because
Yes, you
he
little monkey.
realizes now that you know she can't go on like this, and he has to let her go. Yeah.
No. You could have left her with a pair of shoes.
Yeah, think of you to come up with something like that. A real super doctor mustn't have been able to come back.
Well, powerful stuff, that last segment.
It was indeed. It was indeed. I don't know what super job would have gave it. We'll see if he comes back before we finish up. But Lee, what would you give this?
Oh, hello, Jade. Jade's in the chat.
Yes, been looking for you actually on.
Yeah. I did drop a message on Discord. It's just I was doing the whole thing for Friday Night Tights, getting that all ready. But yeah, good, got it. It's a great story. I agree with Charlotte. It does sort of drag a little bit, but I don't think that kind of detracts from the story. I think it's probably one of Hartnell's best, if not the best story.
Yeah.
I have to give it a 9. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. This is definitely a 9. This is one of his best stories. The story itself is just really it sucks you in. That's why I wasn't talking that much, because I was literally watching and trying to mute and comment at the same time, because it was really engaging. But someone in, I think it was the disaster area, says if this was one episode less, it would have been perfect. Maybe so, but then they probably would have had to condense some of the scenes. It does kind of drag a little bit near the end, but I mean, that end scene is just look, it's worth it for me. In fairness, I mean, that's iconic. It's still one of the most iconic moments.
Yeah. It still says shivers.
Yeah, it does. Disaster Area is giving it a 9. Lee has given it an 8. Matthew has given it a 10. Chris has given it an 8. 1 million out of 1 million out of 10. Hartnell's best story by Daniel. Rob gives it a 9, a true Who classic. I would have to agree. It is. David gives it an 8. That's absolutely fantastic. Some high scores from you all in the chat as well. That's absolutely fantastic. It is, isn't it? Like even when the stories are this long, they're enjoyable. Actually, that went a lot faster than I thought it would.
No, I've enjoyed that. And usually, like if you do a long part story,
I'm
it can
pretty
get a
sure
little
I can. I'm just guessing Super John's score, but I'm pretty sure if he was here, he'd probably rate this a 10. Actually,
9 or a 10 at least.
yeah, he'd definitely give it a 9 or a 10. Because you can really hear his enthusiasm when he's
we can hear his score next week. I guess.
Yeah, we'll ask him next week. Obviously, we'll get him. That's what will help when we get him on. We'll start off with his score for this story, and obviously we got Charlotte's rating as well. 8-bit Snake Boy gives it a 9. So a lot of 8s and 9s, a couple of 10s. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, look, there you go. How long ago was that story? And still to this day, fans are giving it 8s, 9s, and 10s. Like, I mean, and it's not because they're sentimental. It's because these are well written stories. When you've got well written stories, they hold up, even if
you got to also remember you can't score it with the modern eye. You have to put it in the context of the time it was made, and the effects. Like the
oh no, here
flying
he is.
saucer, etc.
Here he is. He'll be able to give his rating now. Fantastic. You got here right at the end. Right, go on before you go off again. What would you give this out of 10? And if you want to give
it a 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10. So we were closely. We said between a 9 and a 10.
Yeah.
So there you go. 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Anything else you want to say about the story before we finish up?
I think it's one of the best Hartnell stories. I think William Hartnell saying goodbye to Caroline Ford at the end. I think that was a really kind of touching moment. You could tell that he knows that was coming, and that there was sadness in him that he's got to carry on this legacy for to the next episode, to the next serial, and
she won't be there with him.
He doesn't know who he's going to get next to be the companion along with him. But in the meantime, he's got William Russell and Jacqueline Hill beside him.
Yeah. And I mean, then he ends up, with brand new. Yeah, I did actually say earlier, I think Caroline Ford's departure did really have an effect on him.
That was like his kind of family and that kind of television environment. That was his family.
Yeah, and it started to break up. You could tell.
Yeah, and when it started to break up, that's when he kind of thought, and then his health was kind of deteriorating as well, and you could actually see that in him, that he's get more stern and grumpy with his performances.
Yeah,
and it was like Annika Wills and she just it was like when she came along, it's they couldn't actually get on with William Hartnell, although they appreciated the actor and loved the actor, and that. It was just when Patrick Troughton came along, that's when all the fun started to happen, and that in Doctor Who, and with a new Doctor, and the companions get kind of used to Troughton and that, and then they were afraid to leave and all that, and look how that it turned out. It was that is the turning point in the first Doctor's beginning. This leaving.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's Hartnell's Doctor went through a lot of changes, all right, with companions and stuff.
Yeah.
I say it must have been hard for him, all right. But, you know, he still produced some great television for us all to still even admire today. So thank you, Bill. You'll always be hashtag Hartnell first. You'll
The
always
first
be
Doctor.
the first Doctor. Nobody will ever take that away from you. But lads, we're gonna finish up now. But before we do, I'll let you do use our plugs. So we'll start with you, Real Super Doctor, if you'd like to plug away there.
I've got a Twitter under Real Super Doctor, and I've got a YouTube under Real Super Doctor.
Good. I will guess. Well, I'm pretty sure one of the moderators will stick them in there as they always do. Lee.
I'd just like to before I do my bit, just like to say that one of the fandom menaces, Own, has succumbed to cancer and passed away very recently. Mark C. He was quite a character that popped up quite a lot in a lot of different streams and things. So it was quite a big shock to a lot of people yesterday. But apparently, according to Clobber in Times, his family said that instead of well wishes and flowers and things, if people could donate money or help assistance to this charity called Heroes Initiative. I'll just put the link in the chat to do so. So nice little charity there. If you want to check that out, at least give it a look. And yeah, very sad. A lot of people were very saddened by that news the other day. So that's that. So I just thought I wanted to mention.
No. I mean, look at there's a lot of characters on YouTube, a lot of characters on social media, and we, you know, people do get to know people on these platforms, and you know they do have a bit of a following. So yeah, I seen that news myself. Actually, I seen Clobberan's post. Obviously, as cancer, it's horrible. It's still to this day, like, you know, you think 2021 we'd have cures for all sorts of things, but unfortunately, we don't. But yeah, rest in peace. Listen, you know, as I said, there's a lot of characters come and go. One day I'll be gone. You know, one day even you'll be gone, Lee, and people will probably come across our YouTube channel years from now and say, "What the hell?" You know. So yeah, I mean, look, it's not a good time for anybody, especially now. But yeah, listen, best wishes to his family, and
absolutely love and
sorry
light.
It's with all the lockdown as well. I mean, and people not getting treatments. For things and getting turned away. I mean, that's what really makes me kind of angry, because there's a lot of people suffering right now.
Yeah,
and it's unnecessary.
It's not just the pandemic. It's people that actually, you know, their procedures, because my dad was one of those that had to have a procedure put back because of all of this nonsense. You know, there are people out there that have genuine medical needs that haven't been able to access these services. So we have to think of those people, you know, because
it's the singing and dancing and TikTok videos that really infuriates me. Why do that? You're going to upset a lot of people. I mean, the best thing to do is not do these silly videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, the NHS from a long time, you know, had a lot of sympathy from the public for, you know, the low wages and long hours, but they've managed with all this nonsense to turn the public
here in Ireland. Listen, we have cops here in Ireland, Gardaí getting up on top of bleeding Garda stations, bus depots, doing all of this nonsense. Like, I'm sick of it all. We're all there. We're all indoors, like, for the people that are sticking to the restrictions and are doing what they're asked, that they're being told to do. Like, I'm annoyed because I'm doing everything I'm asked, and all I want is a point, and you fuckers are ruining it for me. So
Well, there's people that as it's been said, the people waiting for procedures and have
exactly,
cancers and
like
things,
all
and
I
they
want
can't
is
get
a
seen.
point.
And these
Other
people are
people need
dancing
life.
around.
Exactly, they need life saving treatment, and you've got idiots dancing.
Yeah, you've got
All
people
I want-
dying in those very hospitals, and they're dancing in the
Yeah, yeah.
in the reception areas, and it's kind of a bit, it's a bit bad taste,
Yeah.
really. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
place for people to be recovering
Well,
or who are
Matthew
seriously ill.
Ponder says good night to us all. Good night,
Good
good
night.
night, Mr. Area and Zoners. Good night. Right, Lee, do your shout outs.
Yeah, well, Chris
anyway,
Perch is doing it for me. He says Lee will never die. Well, I don't know about that. He will live on with his hit single, Meltdown, Ocean Man, now
Yeah,
available on
and I
iTunes and
put the
Spotify.
direct link to iTunes in. I want that to be put in there, please, if you don't mind, because
That'd be great.
get as many people as we can to buy it. Because remember, 75% of the proceeds do go to charity, and that is it for tonight. Tomorrow we've got the great New Who watch along series 4, and it's the fires of Pompeii. So
Classic.
this is where
It's a
Donna,
very good episode.
yeah,
That.
this is where Donna actually kind of, because the doctor
Shows her acting chops.
yeah, it shows our acting chops catching tape. But this is the first time where we see that Donna is not going to take any shit, and she can
Yeah.
change the doctor's mind, because she does in this story, and it's very good. I love this story, actually. I can't wait for it. Obviously, some of the dialogue in it now wouldn't fly with these leftist twats. I'm surprised they didn't try cancel that one. It was a watch along, because there's literally a line in it. Well, the women folk can't are not as powerful as the men folk, or something like that. And I'm surprised they didn't pick up on that and go mental and try cancel the writer of that as well. It's getting ridiculous. It is, but right.
Nicholas Horton says my mum has had has a very bad cataract in her eyes. I hope she gets well. She's had to wait over a year before she can have treatment.
That's what I mean.
That's like third world shit right there.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's getting to the stage now where people are starting to justify all of this, and rightly so. I'm starting to kind of think as well, like, okay, a year for us in Ireland, and it has been a year. Like, it's enough. So, what more do you want me to do? If the virus is still out there, it's because of effing idiots. So, like, what?
And it's the threat of vaccine passports and all that, and you don't know if that vaccine will cure it, and you don't know how many vaccines in a year you might get.
Yeah, well, it having some countries ban the Oxford one. Yeah, so it's not going down well. The Pfizer one seems to be going down well with everybody that has gotten it that we know.
I've known my mum and dad's had it, and they've not had no ill effects as far as I know.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's long-term effects. That's the
I know
you
that.
can say there's no effects, but you don't know.
Well,
you
we
don't know what the long-term.
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think they're gonna either make us take this, or we take it willingly.
Oh, it's coming. I guarantee it. And I don't agree with that.
I know I don't agree with it myself.
I don't agree with it either.
But I mean, if I want to leave Ireland and they tell me I need a vaccine passport, then I'm screwed. I won't be able to ever leave the country. That's the way they'll make it, but that's how they'll do it, to make everybody take it, because they know people want to go away on holidays and stuff. So they know what they're doing. They're clever. But listen, I don't want to get into it, because we'll stay here all night for another 2.5 hours, and I'm definitely gone, because Cheryl's in bed now. She, as you know, she explained to you, March is not a great month for her. So she'll be back in April on Gift of the Gab. And doing fun stuff with Daniel as well, and Lee. Actually, there's a lot of plans for Cheryl on the Irish Geek. I'm gonna be kind of drowned out on that channel, but it's probably for the best. It's probably for the best. We'll see.
And even for a movie watch along, she's great. I mean, we did Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, she was brilliant for Ghostbusters. Yeah, very good. So. Yeah, we'll be doing that. So I'll drop the trailer. I've already got the trailer prepared. So I'll drop the trailer on the Irish Geek tonight. You will see what the movie is.
Disaster Era says we want Ted.
And well, no Ted tonight because I don't have a camera on my Chromebook because I dropped the Chromebook and I broke the camera. And Cheryl's in bed, so unfortunately, no Ted. But we'll try get a video up on his little channel at some stage this week or next. Well, it'll be next week. But we'll get one up for you. But yeah, no Ted tonight. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, but yeah, I actually feel sad for him. I actually do feel sad for you, but like, you know, I've got to put up with the little shit 24/7. He's wanting me, you can have him. I'm only messing. I'm only messing. He's my little boy. He's my little boy. He might piss me off, but I tell you, that hadn't happened, I might be devastated, man. Yeah. Right. Well, we won't go there anyway because I don't want to get all. Yeah. But so I got to do this. Maybe tonight Lee might actually, you know, do it right this time. But say good night, Lee.
Good night, Super Doctor.
Good night, all. Good night.
That's near enough, isn't it? It's near as damn it.
Are you not gonna say good night to the chat? No, you're gonna be disrespectful.
Good night, chat.
Yeah, good night, all.
Yeah,
there you go. That's all I want you to do is acknowledge the chat. That's all. You don't have to acknowledge me.
Well, I'm trying to human. You know?
Right. You're trying to be human.
I'm a replicant.
He's a replicant. All right. And Real Super Doctor said good night. So we are going to say good night to you.
Like
thank you guys for taking part. Thanks everybody for the super chats. Really appreciate it as well. Actually, thank you. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my channel or any of the panelist channels, please do.
Buy my single.
Yeah, and buy Lee's single. I'm also on the Irish Geek as well. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel as well because we're going to be kicking ass on that channel. But yeah, subscribe to that channel as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Daniel's channel either. Charlotte was on. She would have obviously gave the shout outs, but our battery went dead. So I will do it now. Don't forget to subscribe to Daniel's channel. He's doing some great interviews lately. And I'll be on his
Darko 24 later in the month.
Yeah, and I'll be featuring as well at some stage, folks. So come and join us for that. We'll be talking classic.
Yeah, poor Daniel won't get a word in edgeways.
Well, he will. He will. See, the difference between me and you is when I'm on someone's channel, I know who the host is.
Yeah, but it's not about the host; it's about the guest.
It doesn't matter, but I let the host ask the questions and then I answer the questions. But I don't go off on a big long tangent like you do. Not anymore.
I am interview gold.
Your interview gold, all right. Yeah. No, all joking aside, though, as I said, though, you do bring some great points forward and points of view, and you know you do inform this fandom of certain things that are going on. So it was a great interview. You know,
it was fun. Good fun.
So it was good.
Yeah, Daniel and Charlotte are a great team.
Yeah.
And Daniel and Shah. Dan and Shah.
He's going to still push that, he is. But listen, that's it. That's been us.
Thanks, Chris Berger, for the
zone next week. It's the invasion because Lee had to pick an 8-parter just to kind of do me head in. If he's not picking a crap story, he's picking long-ass episodes. But there you go. That's Lee. We wouldn't have it any other way. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Good night.
And enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope it's going good for you so far. Good night.
Good night.